Warning, this podcast has some swears in it.
I'd rate it PG-13 at most, but let's just be on the safe side and say viewer discretion is advised. Time to raise your blades, heroes.
And check some vibes.
It's the Heroes Blade Vibe Check.
I've been having some issues lately.
Alright, lay it on me.
The deck count was supposed to go down, but instead it's gone up.
This is not progress towards becoming Zen Cole with monk's robes and 10 decks, so I don't know what's going on, my guy.
That's an alternate reality that doesn't exist. It's not gonna happen. I don't know. Like, I'm going up towards 40 decks again. It's impossible. It's hard to get out of here. I didn't know how I was gonna use this as a segue to talk about our guest this episode, but hi Jen and Doni, what's up?
Yeah, we got some special guests in the booth with us today. Hello, Jen and Doni of the Filthy MTG Casuals, who I'm sure you've seen online somewhere if you've been hanging around online in the webcam commander space at all. What's good, gamers? Say hello to the people and all that.
Hello. This is a little bit of a long time dream come true. Like, we've been huge fans of both of you, and getting the invite to come hang out and shoot the shit with y'all is we're genuinely tickled. We're really, really happy to be here.
As all of our guests have known, because Quinn often just shows up in my chat and was like, "Hey, by the way, we need to get XYZ person in the queue, right?" And we're like, "Yeah, okay, cool. Like, add them to the queue, pin it to the message, whatever. I'll come back to it later." And then I come back to it and I look at like our schedule. I'm like, we were talking about it with Lenny the other night, and I was like, we did that episode with Lenny like over a year ago, and I'm pretty sure we had the two of you all in the queue like months ago at this point, and it's just like, the formula, it hurts us, it wounds us, but we finally got you here.
We're here.
And not the first time that I've had the two of you in the hot seat when it comes to just podcasting in general. I thought it was funny. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. There are several couples in the online Magic community, and you two are like at the tippity top of that list for me mentally. Like, I can't think of anyone else. I'm like, who cares? It's Jen and Doni. It's the only one that matters. Obviously, like, the Steel Cities are like another couple that I can think of, and a handful of other people. But I'm like, if Magic is involved, I find it hard to believe that one of you is not involved in the other somehow. Someone's hovering over the other person's shoulders. You both are either doing your own streams or whatever, or you're both going to be in a game because it's a fucking package deal. That's how it works.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we are kind of a package deal.
Yep. Not that we don't play separately, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times
people like having us both on together because of the banter, right? Because we're just so comfortable with each other, the way we interact. That's, yeah.
I have, for the last few weeks that I've been trying to advertise this particular episode, which has been terrible. I'm like, Doni and I are going to show up and just fucking chew each other out. Be like, Doni, you're a piece of shit.
Fuck you, Cole.
Fuck you, Doni. All right, now that we got that out of the way, we can continue on with the episode. Okay. So anyway, you two are a dynamic duo of troublemakers that go around terrorizing commander tables across the internet, but you also get to do streaming every once in a blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good time. For the longest time, I've mentioned this to you two in particular a couple times, but there's a pair of guys up here in Vancouver that I knew of through a friend of mine whenever we went out to play Magic on Sundays. He's like, yeah, so I have the MTG Filthy Casuals or whatever, like the other versions, the Canadian versions up here, and what they do is they go through Magic's history by like drafting it, like by using whatever, right? And then they play on like MTGO or whatever. And then forever, I've been like, for the life of me, I'm trying to get every iteration of the Filthy Casuals to come together to play, but it just never happened. I just don't have the social pull to pull that off. But
that is going to require a Herculean amount of effort to put together. So if you do line that up, it will be applause worthy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just also don't think those two could handle you both. So that's where we're gonna go with that. It takes the right kind of mind and personality to I don't know. We're part of, I think, a group of particular people that love talking mad shit to each other. But if we were anyone else, we could not handle it, and we'd be crying to our freaking mommies being like, Donnie called me an asshole or whatever,
Yeah, sure.
It's just the kind of relationship that you only develop after years of playing Commander over the internet with people.
Exactly,
Yeah.
I think the more familiar you get with people, the more things you can get away with.
That's... You are so right. You are so damn right. Oh my god. Okay, so let's get into the flow of things and see what happens. We're gonna go through our upkeep here. Since you two are our guests, do you two have anything going on you want to shout out before we continue with the rest of the episode? Anything coming up that you two are doing? No traveling coming up?
Want to talk about the giveaway?
Oh, we're doing a giveaway over in the lobby, Pristine, right now for a secret deck that nobody knows about. But no, we're not doing any traveling this year at all because of our dog.
Yeah, fair enough. The family's important.
Yes.
Yep.
The family's
Absolutely.
important. I will just talk about... I should have mentioned this. Every time like a charity thing comes up, I always think, oh, I should probably talk about it. So the weekend after this episode comes out, Predators for Change is going to be running a weekend-long charity event that, compared to the normal stuff, like, I don't know how like Light and L and everyone else who's involved in Predators for Change managed to do this. They've managed to scale it up for the entire weekend. What they normally do is they do Commander stream stuff, Commander games around Predators as commanders, which, you know me, I love throwing out Urabrask into the fray, and then someone does some bullshit before I do some bullshit. But they're doing the Praetor Pride block party between June 27th and the 29th. And in preparation for that, they're also doing it with VML, and it's going to be doing. So what they have, let's go through the stuff here. So the VML is doing a 64-player exhibition standard tournament with some cash prizes involved here. There is going to be a split up throughout that weekend for Commander standard limited, I think. I think the packs, let me just open up this image here. This is pretty important. It's going to be Final Fantasy and Brothers War. All right. That sounds sick. There's a lot of artifact synergy. I can see how that can work. Mm-hmm. There is going to be a Predators for Change panel where people are probably going to talk about whatever. I wish I had more specifics, and I don't mean to kind of generalize it. So yeah, it is going to be a super busy weekend. I'm going to be doing a Commander game on the 27th. I can't remember who the pod is, but it's going to be whatever the pod
You can
is.
check the flyer for the details. We got a lot of show to get through, babes.
Ah, damn, you're so right. All right. So yeah, that is going to be going on the weekend after this episode comes out. So if you people can come through and go check it out, that would be great. Donate if you can. Get the word out. It's really appreciated. Let's do some video game talk before we get into actual Magic talk here. Quinn.
Yeah.
Are you finished Final Fantasy yet?
Unfortunately, no. I'm at a part that is extremely unmotivating. I did the snowboard mini game after some extremely emotional events occur.
Mm-hmm. As we all know, right?
And anybody who's been following that thread on the internets knows exactly what I'm talking about, as well as anybody who's familiar with Final Fantasy VII's story. The thing that you do immediately after events occur is go to a place where it's very cold and you have to go find a snowboard. So yeah, we did that, and then you're wandering on a glacier, and I don't super want to do that mini game. I would rather just be wandering and do the regular random encounters and fucking move on, dude. So I'm distracting myself with a different RPG from the PS1 era, which is extremely what you're supposed to be doing.
Quinn, are you ever going to finish a fucking RPG at this rate?
No, dude, I don't finish games. I don't know what to tell you.
Holy
We're playing
fuck.
Breath of Fire 4. I've still got Castlevania in the background, and I'm learning to do the electric wind god fist in Tekken 3. So,
okay.
PlayStation 1 era, we're retro gaming.
Kindred fucking spirits, Quinn. I can't remember the last time I finished a fucking game.
Oh my
Thank
god.
you. It's there's
okay.
too much game in these games.
I am putting all of you and my girlfriend on blast because this is fucking heinous behavior. You need the catharsis. You need that release. You can't just have that game. Okay, in Quinn's case, the game is 70% done instead of 99% done. So you're not even at the end game. You're
Am I
damn,
70% done with Final Fantasy VII?
I don't know where the fuck you are, but that game has to end at some point. You're doing these
made up on the spot.
Quinn, it's like the people I make up on the internet. I have to come up with an arbitrary number and an arbitrary whatever, and I have to make it up.
If you make up enough people to be mad at, eventually one of them will be a suitable relationship partner.
It's a good thing I'm dating someone right now, because that imaginary person's looking real fucking... This is some enemies to lovers bullshit. I gotta fucking tell you, this is some fucking horse shit. All right.
The thing you don't understand, Cole, is that playing the fucking game is our catharsis.
Yeah, okay.
It's not about beating it. It's not about beating it. It's just playing the game.
Take it from the guy that will continuously re-download Fallout 4, mod the shit out of it, play it for 30 or 40 hours of either doing the same stuff or new stuff or whatever, and then you delete... Well, I don't delete the game. I just close it and do something else, but... That's a comfort game, because I already know the twists and turns. I completed it literally 5 times over already, and I can be great. I got my bag of potato chips game, and I've gorged myself on it, and now I can go play an RPG that I can spend 80 to 100 hours on and finish it, because I'm a man, I guess, and I can finish my goddamn games. Come on.
Jen, how are turnip prices?
Oh, see, I don't even buy the turnips. Donnie buys the turnips.
I did buy the turnips originally because, I just wanted to see...
I do love Animal Crossing, though. Animal Crossing is amazing.
It involved math, and I got excited because I was like, well, I could probably,
the number go up.
I could probably spreadsheet this out and see how it moves, and
I just terraform my whole land all the time. Tear it apart and rebuild it.
You see, that's, I know a friend of mine that I chat with, and she, years ago, would send me, her screenshots of her new town. And I'm just I wish I could get Animal Crossing, but there's not enough murder happening for me to, really get into it.
I love it so much.
What? Going chasing people around and smacking them in the head with a bug catching net is not enough bloodlust for me. I need more. I crave more.
So I had this daydream.
Games for the bloodlust?
Yeah, how listen, Quinn, I can't go out and be a vigilante and beat people up like fucking Batman. I have to do it in a video game, all right?
So So I had this daydream, and it was what happens in Animal Crossing when the lights go off. And I was like, you know what? They're all fucking inmates. And they're just putting on a show for the players. And when the lights go off, it's cutthroat. They're fucking shanking each other. They're doing all of that shit.
They got it. Listen, it's tough out there. When the lights go off, when the boss isn't around, we gotta fend for ourselves. Do what we gotta do to survive.
It becomes Among Us. Like as soon as the lights go out.
all the scorpions or like whatever the bees come out and everyone's got to run for their fucking lives. Like
Yep.
Oh, I need a like gritty image of Isabel who's just like frowning and saying like it's a dog eat dog world out there.
Quinn, they have that. It's called Doom.
I've seen some of those, but I need that specific
rip and tear until it is done. Quinn, did you not see any of those videos? Oh wait, I forgot you don't watch videos.
No.
The fact that that Animal Crossing and Doom was released on the same day, and instead of like the typical internet bullshit of like my game is better than your game, the gamers were like, fuck yeah, Animal Crossing and Doom.
Gamer Barbenheimer moment.
Yes, yeah. Yep. Like, oh, it was so good. Like, there's fucking Doom guy just hanging out like fishing or doing whatever in fucking Animal Crossing land, and the portal opens up and he fucking scoops up Isabel onto his shoulder and they go through and she picks up a fucking shotgun and suddenly fucking rip and tear is going on in the background and she's just like, ah, just fucking going nuts on demons. Just
beautiful thing.
Anyway, so that's a regular Commander game in a nutshell.
Oh, dude, it's only a matter of fucking time before you can put Tom Nook in the command zone, and he's just the worst mono white tax commander.
I don't know if Nintendo would allow that. I don't think they could, but...
Oh my god.
Nintendo, I'm tapping my watch, babes. Make it happen. Cut the check. Do whatever it takes.
Yep.
Quinn, the Nintendo ninjas are after me and my family as we speak. Where I am in danger, alright?
They are rappelling through your fucking window.
They're coming up to the 26th floor of my apartment building, and they're just like, get on the ground. You, in 2011 or 2010, you heavily modified a Mega Man Battle Network game. Yeah, and that was literally 15 years ago. What the fuck are you doing here? Honestly, I joke about Nintendo ninjas, but you hear about like these odd stories on the internet where people are like, yeah, I publicly pirated this game and then I got a cease and desist or whatever from fucking Nintendo, or I owed them money or whatever, and you're just like, wait, they can fucking do that? It's fucking Nintendo. I don't fucking know.
Wizards will send Pinkertons, so why wouldn't Nintendo send ninjas?
It's a whole thing.
Okay, so anyway, Quinn, I'm gonna need you to finish Final Fantasy VII in 2 weeks. I want that on my desk.
Probably not gonna happen, but I do think that Link, Hero of Time, his Magic the Gathering card, would absolutely hold the Hero's Blade. Let's get into some fucking vibe checks.
No, we're not done. What the hell?
Quinn's done. Quinn is done.
I know Quinn's done. Quinn is usually done if I'm in the driver's seat. And Quinn's like, can I get off this ride? Like, please.
That's fair.
So... I recently finished a playthrough of this old ass Wii game, as like the Wii wasn't out in like 2006 or whatever. It's called
now. Sorry.
It's my knees, my bag. So No More Heroes is a Wii game, and it was one of the handful of M-rated Wii games because that's the family console, you know. Mm-hmm. Everyone and their grandma had Wii Bowling, like Wii Sports and all that other stuff. But No More Heroes is about what's that guy from Jackass? Because that's how he's like presented. So basically, there's this loser 28-year-old that bought an actual factual lightsaber off the internet, and was like, "Damn, I got no money." And this lady's like, "Hey, how about you go into the assassin organization and cut a bunch of people's heads off?" And the dude's like, "Say no more, I'm in." And it's literally like a Quentin Tarantino movie in Japan, and it's an absolute freaking wild time. And I finished that game, and I'm going to be going on a podcast in a couple weeks. In about a month, give or take. I'm going to be going on You Know What's Cool, and I'm going to be talking about No More Heroes. So Look forward to that whenever that comes out, because I cannot illustrate enough. That is a freaking wild ride of a game. They don't make them like they used to.
No, they don't.
They really don't.
Did anyone remember Leisure Suit Larry?
Oh yeah.
I don't.
Oh yeah.
But
I
okay.
put that collection of syllables together. Yeah.
Thank you,
I've
Donnie.
never played those games, so.
Oh yeah. I'm familiar with Leisure and King's Quest and all of that shit.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, not the exact same caliber, but you know what? We'll just say yeah, sure. The one of the greats.
King's Quest.
Conker's Bad Fur Day? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of that one too.
Yeah. Conquer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That one.
All right, let's go to the vibe checks now.
All right.
Let's start off with our guests. This is the question, the usual question we ask our guests. Do you have any particular legendary creatures that would like to hold the Hero's Blade? I literally sent you this. You two, you can't leave me hanging here. You gotta tell me.
All right. I'm just gonna Glunch the Bestower. Do they pass the vibe check? Let's rock.
Ooh, okay.
I mean,
Think about it, Jen.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
Just Glunch is a yes.
Glunch is a
That's it.
yes.
I think Glunch is a windmill slam.
Absolutely.
Well,
I think that massive ass is blocking for days anyway, and if you add power on top of that, you're just never getting through to them for combat. So you can sit on top of the initiative or the monarch for whatever, and just like you're chilling, you're farming value.
The 2+1 counters you could also put on top of Glunch could probably add up pretty dang quick. I also keep forgetting. I don't know why I didn't think about this, that Glunch is flying, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the best parts.
Flyers win games. Goddamn, check
Flyers
that out.
win games.
They absolutely
Always saying
do.
this.
Always.
They absolutely do. If I had to pick, you know,
Xander.
I gotta put Xander out there. Like Grixis Mean Girls, let's go.
Oh my
Yeah, does
god.
Xander pass the vibe check?
Well, all right. So let's take a look at Xander for a second here. I mean, look, if you know Glunch, then you know Glunch. No more introductions needed. Lord Xander the Collector is 4 blue, black, red for a vampire demon noble that's a 6/6 that says, when Xander enters, target opponent discards half the cards in their hand rounded down. When Xander attacks, defending player mills half their library rounded down. And when Xander dies, target opponent sacrifices half the non-land permanents they control rounded down. Why would he even need to hold the blade? This man is fucking causing madness and mayhem just by existing.
He already does a lot of stuff.
You know,
Donnie, what the fuck?
Some heroes are just misunderstood.
Oh my god.
I think he's just talking about
Donnie,
himself
we're not
now.
talking about you. We're talking about Xander.
Hey,
You know.
not all heroes wear capes. Come on.
Oh, jeez.
Fuck it,
Yeah,
give him the blade. Whatever, dude.
yeah, all right. I guess this is the fuck it. Yeah, I guess they can hold the blade because whatever. Quinn, you got a couple here that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm on my Final Fantasy bullshit, so I opened a Noctis Prince of Lucius, and I think he passes the vibe check. He's a 4/3 with lifelink, so just like on that, this guy, and he's 1 in Esper to cast. So like, yeah, this guy picks up the blade and he's immediately at the 3-hit clock being 7 power, and also just like that much lifelink on your opponents, like get time locked, nerd.
What was that? Who entered this room and what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
I'll need to. Sorry, my girlfriend just like walked in the room, patted me on the head, whispered over the shoulder, and then left. And I don't know what she did, but I'm very.
I hope she crop dusted your studio.
She's perfect.
I didn't know why she didn't like give me a wet willy or something, but maybe it's because I had my headphones on.
Sometimes the boyfriend needs head pats. She gets it.
Yeah. So, obviously, outside of the artifact synergy that Noctis has by being able to cast your artifact spells from your graveyard by paying 3 life in addition to paying their other costs, but it enters with a finality counter, which we already established Queen doesn't care about that.
I could not give less fucks about finality counters.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
Time marches on, and so does Commander games. And let's be honest here, if you're, I don't know, like, not so. Light made me laugh about this recently. She was like, Google search Noctis EDH, and the results were Noctis CEDH, here's Noctis combo, whatever. And she's like, damn, I gotta jump off this fucking train. I don't want anything to do with this.
Tab,
just
take
no.
an aspirin, sit down in a dark room.
Yeah. So I don't know. 7 power Noctis gaining you a bunch of life to help you pay for the artifacts that you're bringing back from your graveyard. Yeah, sure, that works.
I think instead of being annoying with combos, you just play a resilient Voltron deck that just like you can't meaningfully remove my knives.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am still thinking about putting him in Radun Hagadoon at this point, but
yeah, that's card advantage, baby.
I'm trying to think if I put anything in there recently from Final Fantasy, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Yeah. Moving on. What's your other one you got here? Because I recognize this name, and I know some people thirst for this character, but...
Yeah, he's a big bad from Final Fantasy XIV, Emmet Selk Unsundered, and Hades Sorcerer of Eld, the transformed half of the card. The guy wants to be getting in there and attacking because he's like a 1/4 with Vigilance that draws and discards when he enters or attacks. And the Hero's Blade's only going to make that easier. I'm just like, windmill slam that, easy peasy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't, as usual, you go to the backside for Hades Sorcerer of Eld, and you look at this artwork, and you're like, why is this guy not flying?
I don't care about the backside. I'm here to draw and discard, babes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, fair enough.
Quinn,
I don't know. Some people are really greedy about that backside.
I got Grix as Howler triggers to put on the stack.
Oh, okay, well, fair enough.
What do you have for us?
So I didn't have any in particular because I've been deep in the trenches with Sephiroth, Fallen Hero, and Squall, Seed Mercenary.
Yeah,
I have not had a new deck to have like a Hero's Blade or think about that. So we have a bunch of people join in MTG Lexicon, the Dibar VDH, to go chat with us in the Hero's Blade Vibe Check channel. And Steven suggested specifically the meld version of Fang and Vanille, which I'm just going to bring up here in a second here. But they mentioned specifically Ragnarok Divine Deliverance. So this creature is a combination of Fang Fearless Lassie and Vanille Cheerful Lassie, which, you know, you got 2 legendary creatures. You can only have you can have Vanille in the command zone, and then I guess you have to go find Fang.
She'll find her girlfriend, it's fine.
So Ragnarok Divine Deliverance is the meld creature that is a 7/6 beast avatar. It has Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, and Haste. So, like, fuck off.
Those are extremely good keywords.
All the keywords.
And then, when Ragnarok dies, destroy target permanent and return target non-legendary permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So in terms of having 2 uncommon legends become this absolute fucking fuck off behemoth and become a casual 10-8 and then just start fucking going to town on people. Blocks are tough. They can block and they can attack and block with Vigilance and Reach. They can attack right away as soon as it comes out, because if you're going to be melding this thing, why doesn't it have haste? And then worst case scenario is it explodes, and then I don't know, you recast your commander and go find Fang and just go fucking off. Like, I don't know. This card is sweet. It's flying under the radar. I have not seen a deck played with them yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing. There's so much shit in Final Fantasy. Oh my god.
Yes.
Holy
yes,
shit.
there is.
There's so much.
I just want to say, I'm willing to die on this hill. If you can meld it, it gets the blade. I don't.
Yeah. Like, okay. Hell yeah.
Like,
I'm around
if
for that.
If you get there, fuck it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, man.
All right. Yeah. I feel like some people have made some recommendations recently, but honestly, like, if you look at Final Fantasy, you could probably find a way to use and abuse a Hero's Blade, because there's just a lot of, like, really aggressive in-your-face commanders.
Dude, +3 power on Raban, Bull of Alamigo.
Oh, don't get me started on that, dude.
Exactly.
You know what? That should have been... You know what? You're totally right. Let's talk about this dude, because talk about a total role player. So Raban, Bull of Alamigo, is 1 in a red for 2/2 human warrior with ward, pay life equal to Raban's power. So 5. You want this dude gone? Fucking pay 5 life, you know?
Yep.
And then whenever he attacks, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to target attacking creatures. So you can start just giving...
it works if you cast the blade before or after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then also just free equip. Like, I'll talk about it a bit later.
Axe.
Sorry, what was that, Donnie?
Bloodforged Battle Axe.
Go fucking off. You're like, oh no. Anyway, Bloodforged Battle Axe upon you. Just fucking just...
Yeah.
I really do need to play with that card a little more often. That thing is fucking awesome. I did get to equip a reconfigured creature on an attack in a game recently.
Sick.
I was like, cool. Oh man, this equip cost is 4 or 5 mana. Yeah, whatever. Just fucking put this Cloud Steel Kieran on this thing or whatever, and just go fucking off.
Yep.
I fucking knew it was gonna be the horse.
It was gonna be the horse. I can't lose the game, and I have a flying creature now. Fucking deal with it. I wish the thing gave at least like +1/+1, but I guess flying is like okay.
Oh, becoming a lich wasn't enough. It needs to give stats
Quinn.
too.
Sorry, this is not. I need to beat people in the face, and I don't just need evasion in a way to not lose the game.
Greedy
okay.
mage.
Yeah.
Greedy.
You're one to talk. All right.
It's all
Let's go to comments. It's a bit of a short one this time. Quinn, who do we got for sunblock here?
First up, the homie Jay says, Quinn, you produce the music? Yeah, dude, I do. Unless otherwise stated, I make all of the tracks that we use for this.
Yeah, when we did, I think the only handful of music that I can think that, like, I didn't have you, or be like, hey, Quinn, can you do this thing? Or you just had it. You're like, hey, Thunder Junction's sick. Here's this, like, Western track. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, we'll use it. I think the first time we did the Thunder Junction thing, I just found some little ditty and put it on loop for a bit. When we did the Murders at Karlov Manor, you had like a I don't know, just like some not 80s synthwave. That's not the right thing, but it was definitely like a very...
It was intended to be like old and like dusty feeling with like sampled jazz pianos, but like chopped into hip hop.
Yeah. So yeah, Quinn's the maestro when it comes to most of the stuff, and we'll be mentioning Gate Crash, Girl Bite. Nope. That's not it. Why do I just keep fucking this up? Gaslight, Gate Crash, Girl Bite. Fuck, Light is gonna roast my ass. God damn it. We'll talk about Light and Medusa's podcast later because I stepped in to do a bit of editing to get that goddamn episode out. But Quinn also does the music for that podcast. So
hell yeah.
Awesome.
We also have a link in, I don't know if anyone noticed, we got a link in the last episode that just came out for the Final Fantasy beats that Quinn made, or at least one of the tracks.
It's all 3 of them.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that, but hey, you want all of them? Get going, download that link.
I posted a .zip file, so you can download that, and that'll have the like battle theme, the crystal theme, and then a secret bonus track that you'll find out if you download it.
Nice.
Why the fuck did I not know about this? This is crazy. Anyway.
Because you didn't fucking download it?
No, because you sent me 2 of the tracks for editing, and clearly the third one was Shrug, I guess, or whatever. But all right. So yeah, go check that out. Yes, Quinn produces the music. It's all bangers all the way down.
Thank you.
Andy from the Legendary Creature podcast. This was based off a conversation we had. I'll go into it in a second here. And he's like, hey, another banger, guys. I couldn't take for granted that someone out there is putting out something regularly I enjoy for free, especially something I enjoy as much as hearing the insights you have and consistently express your love for the hobby. Thanks for doing this. Here's Blade Vibe Check Forever. So,
thanks, fam.
We had our first rude-ass comment that mysteriously disappeared. But I mean actually I did not like just delete it and be like, I'll never talk about this ever. It literally showed up on my phone because I have Spotify for creators. It was like, you received a message, and I like do the scroll down to check the notifications. It's like, you're all pathetic, and I'm like,
wow.
And then it was boop, boop, gone. Like it was gone, and I'm like, first of all, karma. Second of all, I guess that could have been worse. But I was chatting with Andy, because like in the creator content space, the bigger you are, the more subject you are to people who are like, I could just say whatever to you in the internet, and you're just like,
yep,
it's true.
It's brutal. We got off easy, but also the fact that the comment disappeared, I was like, cool, I don't have to do any heavy lifting. But a little peek behind the screen here, I guess, like, so Annie and Kyle, when they're doing Legendary Creature podcast, I guess when they brought Lenny on to do the Final Fantasy episode, which, by the way, that is a good listen. We'll talk about that in content in a bit. But I guess some people are like, no, my last bastion of safety from Universes Beyond is tarnished forever. And I'm like, do you not know these fucking guys? Like, this is brutal. Obviously we've been yammering here, but Jen and Donnie, obviously the people who you are in the content creator space. You get to see and observe a lot of this stuff. What is your stance on Universes Beyond?
I'm here for it.
In general.
I'm here for
it. Yeah, all right.
I'm good with it.
I'm a little disillusioned like right now because it just feels like there's more of that stuff coming out than like regular Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is fair. Yeah,
but
totally.
Edge of Eternities is right around the corner, and I'm super geeked for that, and I don't care how anybody else feels about it.
Space whales!
Space lizards. I want space lizards. I'm ready to go. I'm the whole vibe, like the artwork, it reminds me of like those early to mid 70s sci-fi magazine covers and the old paperback covers. It's just, I'm really, really excited about the artwork for this set.
We're getting that full retro sci-fi vibe.
Yes, like, dude, I love that retro futurism vibe.
Yeah, it feels like a throwback, but it's not. And I think that's the greatest part about the whole thing. Is that it's all new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are friend of the show, Joel, who I've mentioned many a time because he is someone who is one of the biggest, you could probably say Magic the Gathering in general, but like also the Universes Beyond criticisms of like, we're doing Universes Beyond, so now we have the hat sets and the change in like artwork direction, all this other stuff. So he's like, oh, so it's just going to be like, he's jokingly saying it's like Star Wars and Star Trek. And I'm like, well, I can tell you right off the bat, with all the preliminary like artwork that we've seen, this does not seem like it's Star Trek, because that would be way too positive out the gate of being like, we're going to go where no man has gone before. And the Stargate, not Stargate, fuck me. We're not gonna have a Picard showing up and everything's gonna be great, episodic, whatever. And it does not feel like Star Wars, because like I feel like there has to be camp, right? Mm-hmm. Like there has to be a campy retro futurism vibe of like let's talk about video games for a second. There's the Outer Worlds made by Obsidian, and that is a love letter parody, deconstruction, reconstruction of the retro futurism space adventure of like, you are the renegade whatever dude in your spaceship with a laser gun going around the universe doing whatever, right? And it could be so easy to play the trope straight, like to be like, but then they're like, here's a space angel with like sci-fi spectral wings, and here's a fucking space whale and all this other stuff. And I'm like, no, I feel like there's gonna be a little bit more love put into this than not.
I agree.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be a good time when is that set coming out?
August. I believe August.
August? Oh, geez, damn. That's fuck Final Fantasy, am I right? Let's go talk about Space Whales and shit.
August. Spider-Man comes out in August.
Oh, then maybe sooner.
Oh,
I know
okay.
they're going to talk about it in Vegas. In Vegas, they're doing a preview panel, and they're going to talk all about the Edge of Eternities.
Yes. Fuck yeah.
I look forward to hearing
We can finally
about
see
it.
what Tezzeret's been up to, that fucking asshole.
Whatever it is, he's looking absolutely delectable in that new Darksteel body. Wow.
And can you blame him for trying to get as far away from Bolas as he possibly can?
Absolutely not.
And
He's just like, wow, that shit sucked. I'm fucking off to the other side of the universe.
Exactly.
What are you doing hiding out here?
Yep.
I think you know why. All right, yeah, no more to be said. Also, after the whole things with the Phyrexians giving him their dark, I love how they're like debating him. They're like, "Here's the Darksteel body. Anyway, we're gonna complete you now," and he's just like, "Fuck off."
Yep. No thanks.
Yeah, he's really chilling there. Like, yeah, so you got the Darksteel body, but that's like just part one. We really need to soak you in oil for a few days, and then that'll help complete that and turn you into Blightsteel. And
We're gonna
into what?
We're gonna put you in the tanning booth and douse you in oil, and you're gonna come out the other end a new person. You know, it's like, oh my god.
We just need to marinate you for a bit.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. Let us go. Quinn, you have to go where no mortal person can go, in the smoking mids dimension or something.
All right. See you later.
Hey, it's Johnny Mardu. Let's go take a look into the smoking mids dimension with Benwa and Quinn. Just don't look into those crystals too deeply. People might think you're into astrology if you fucking Libra.
Welcome once again, Quinn, to my very indecisive podcast. You know, I've been thinking about it, and what if we were a podcast about being the just bumbling and incompetent servant of an RPG evil boss?
Bro, what?
What if we were just the smoking mid boss?
God
You know,
damn it.
we're not at the end. We're right in the middle. And speaking of right in the middle of a JRPG dungeon, Final Fantasy season is still upon us. Presumably will still be upon us by the time this episode airs.
Oh yeah.
I want to talk about some legendary creatures. I want to talk about where we're seeing some like interesting ideas, things that we haven't seen on legendary creatures before, things that aren't necessarily gonna blow anyone's minds. I've recently been very enamored with Avalanche of Sector 7.
This card rules. Hell yes.
It is 2 and a red for Legendary Creature Human Rebel. It's a star 3. It's got Menace. Its power is equal to the number of artifacts your opponents control. Honestly, sure, maybe it gets big. That's fine. For me, the important part is whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact they control, Avalanche of Sector 7 deals 1 damage to that player. Now, we've seen like red-green start to lean into this idea of artifacts your opponents control being an important vector for your own success. So we see, like, Kibo Utabi Prince, I think, is a good example of this. Obviously, Kibo, like, the goal there is just force your opponents to sack their treasures or sack their bananas or whatever. Every time you sacrifice a creature, presumably a Kibo deck has a lot of monkeys or whatever, the whole board gets bigger. With Avalanche of Sector 7, it's whenever the opponent activates an ability of an artifact they control, it deals 1 damage to them, which is a lot more immediately innocuous, but I think it allows for a greater sense of what am I trying to say here? It allows for, obviously, it casts a wider net than just sacrifice of artifacts. But it lets me, I get to use a lot of the techie crime cards that I did with Magda, the Horde Master, where I turn your things into artifacts at the beginning of your turn. So, like, if you activate them, you're going to get stung for it. One of my favorite, really, like, just cute cards is the devil. The devil from Capenna that gives everybody a treasure on their first cast. Naturally, I'm blanking on it.
I know exactly the guy that you're talking about. Of course,
exactly
now that I need the name, I've completely forgotten him.
Oh, gamers! There's 27,000 cards in this game.
Keep going. I will
something distributor. Something distributor.
Pain distributor.
Yeah, Pain distributor. So I'm already a big fan of effects like Pain distributor. I'm already a big fan of effects like Generous Plunderer, where I've never been afraid of, like, giving my opponent stuff.
Oh man, dude, I love Generous Plunderer.
I love Generous Plunderer. There's a lot of red cards now that care about the number of artifacts your opponents control. There's cards that give your opponents treasures, and there's a few techie cards that turn your opponent's non-treasure things into treasures.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Avalanche of Sector 7 is just like, it's just the perfect way to make some really tiny cuts. Like, it's a Death with 1,000 cuts kind of archetype, but I think that helps, again, as always, it fly under the radar.
I'm extremely into that. I think I would love to play this and also play Descent into Avernus because I'm that kind of gamer. But even if I'm not doing that kind of thing and I'm just like taking advantage of whatever my opponents are doing, if they're cracking their treasures, if they're activating equipment abilities, all of that, the Avalanche is watching and they're going to hit you for it. I like to see it.
Mm-hmm. Also, gotta admit, as a Final Fantasy VII liker, I want those Scrimblows to have happiness. Mm-hmm. That is maybe not in the cards for them in the game, and so perhaps on the table, I can bring them home.
I had a great game where I played them earlier, and then I had them taken advantage of against me by somebody else's the clone with Cascade that can enter the battlefield as something that entered the battlefield this turn. They cast one of those guys, and they copied the Avalanche, and I, the equipment deck, of course, am sitting on just piles of artifacts for them and plenty of activations for them to feed on, and I'm just, no, but this was supposed to be my deck against you all. What? No.
No, you don't understand. I made the Shinra Power Company to fight the other power company. That's what you sound like.
That is what I sound like. Oh man, they really got my ass. Well, speaking of being a double agent, though, shout out to the boy Ketchi. That is a card that I've had a lot of fun playing. Hey, you remember Tavern Brawler?
I remember Tavern Brawler.
This is basically just that, except you get to scry first, and then you get to target the creature that you want to get the buff. And this happens at the beginning of combat with Kashi. So you get to impulse draw and buff a guy where the mana value is that. And all of that is just like extremely interesting to me for killing people with combat damage.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like Phyrexian Arena. We love it.
Phyrexian Arena is still good gamers. People have allowed us to really fall into the trap of believing that drawing 2 cards a turn is somehow not good enough.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Gamers, it's fine. Like, drawing 2 cards a turn in a 4 or 5 turn game is pretty spooky, but you're here. You're in the midst dimension with us. We're not doing that. Live a little. And you get to scribe one. So it's even better than a Phyrexian Arena. You get to, be a little picky.
Yeah, if this is a thing that you're like, have no way in hell you're going to cast this turn, you could shove that to the bottom if you don't need the buff for combat, or you can ensure that it gets exiled and make sure you convert that card that you aren't using into some damage that you can use. The flexibility that the Scry offers on top of that and the targeting is extremely interesting to me.
Mm-hmm. You know what else is interesting to me? I am not even like I like Final Fantasy IX well enough. I didn't think much of Garnet, Princess of Alexandria, until Technicolor Mime on Bluesky was talking about her like artisan version of it, and the restrictions that Garnet, Princess of Alexandria has in artisan. Admittedly, a bit like it's pretty stingy. Like, Garnet is a 2/2 with lifelink. When she attacks, you can remove a lore counter from each of any number of sagas you control. Put a +1/+1 counter on Garnet for each lore counter removed this way. So, like, she is a cares about sagas commander that lets you keep the sagas on the battlefield longer and let you re-trigger those effects longer. And if you aren't playing by the restriction of Artisan, like, there are a lot of really good sagas in green and white that are balanced around, you know, we talked about, like,
Summon Ixion last turn, yeah.
Last time. Like, that card is fine because it goes away after a while. Some of these cards, Yojimbo, not mid, we determined not mid, but, like, getting to re-trigger any of those abilities, absolutely insane.
Just bouncing back and forth between the first two chapters of Yojimbo feels extremely fucked. Just like exile a thing and then tax your combats from henceforth.
I also found very interesting, Garnet is like a inverse of another really interesting green-white sagas commander, Satsuki the Living Lore. And I just want to see these two, like, hold hands. I was going to say I want to see these two smooch, but, like, 50% of Final Fantasy IX's runtime is a love story between Garnet and the monkey, so pretty certain they're not smooching. But, like, Satsuki the Living Lore, she puts lore counters on each of your sagas as an activated ability. Garnet takes them off, gets huge. Like, you just figure out what sagas really pop off on Chapter 2, and you just, like, smother the table in value with these two. And they're both 2-drops! Garnet's a 2-drop! Like, she is coming down on curve.
Yeah, the potential here is massive. And you're still an Enchantress deck, so you've got all the Enchantress draw. I think there's something here. It smells great in this kitchen. Chef, please continue cooking. Get back to me with that.
I want to hear about a particular legendary creature, a human noble wizard, that both of us have been cooking around recently. And I think going in very different directions with. Quinn, tell me about Joshua Phoenix's Dominant.
Oh, MG. Joshua Phoenix's Dominant is the object of my obsession as of late. When Josh enters, discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. You can also spend 3, a red and a white, and tap him to exile Josh, then return him to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery. He's a 3/4 on this side, but he transforms into a 4/4 with flying and lifelink named Phoenix, Warden of Fire, a legendary enchantment creature, Saga Phoenix, who on Chapter 1, Rising Flames, Phoenix deals 2 damage to each opponent. Chapter 2, again, do the same thing. And then Chapter 3, Flames of Rebirth, returns any number of target creature cards with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, then exiles Phoenix and returns it to the battlefield face up.
So, you get to as the floor, do a bit of faithless looting on a 3/4.
And then at the ceiling,
flip side,
those things that you discarded on Chapter 3, you get to reanimate them.
Yeah, not to mention, It's a life linker that's dealing damage to your opponents. So chapter 1 and 2, you're also gaining 6.
Yeah, I think that this is an incredible card for just like a generic Boros aggro. If you want to have a bit of card filtering, you play your Joshua, you discard the stuff that you don't need or potentially want to reanimate, then you draw some new cards, and then you go to combat, and then the turn after that, like turn 5, you should be able to activate Joshua, return him transformed as Phoenix, and then deal 6 damage to each opponent, or 6 damage to the table collectively, and you gain 6 life, which helps you stabilize, and you're going to need that in your aggro game plan because you're tapping the fuck out every turn because you're declaring all of your attackers. You're not really in a blocking situation, and that means getting your ass fucking beat. You need a way to mitigate that, and I think the lifelink goes a long way. The flying is also fucking lit, dude. Flyers win games. I'm always saying this. And a 4/4 flyer, get wrecked. Also, we're in Boros, so you should have plenty of haste sources. I think if you can manage to get 2 attacks off with Phoenix, it's a lot stronger. The life swing from that is fucking huge.
See, I think this is... this really highlights a fundamental difference between the way you and I think. I have not built Joshua with the express intent of him attacking ever. For any reason. Because I looked at summons sagas, and I saw a opportunity, especially with these dominants that like don't go to the graveyard, like they flip and they are kind of like recyclable. So like Joshua and Clive are both really strong examples of this. I saw an opportunity to try and make work a Modern Horizons 3 uncommon white creature called Metastatic Evangel.
All right.
Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. So, like, I've never seen Metastatic Evangel across the table. I don't see a lot of lists in, like, Modern using Metastatic Evangel. Proliferate in red-white is already kind of uncommon, and the clause of non-token creature entering the battlefield under your control is a bit spooky for some people. Like, for some people, they're like, they see that there's a ceiling on that, and they go, there's, I don't like ceilings, I can't live with ceilings. Everyone in Magic the Gathering is, like, out sleeping in the wilderness at all times, because if they even think of the ceiling of something... they just can't stand it.
That's real shit. Gamers are allergic to ceilings.
Play more summons, gang. But Metastatic Evangel and Josh, and specifically Phoenix, like there is I'm so close to like a peanut butter chocolate moment because if you can give Josh haste, which is one layer of stuff you got to do, but like anger is in all of our graveyards, whatever. If you can give Josh haste, then Phoenix hits chapter 3. You hit all of those, potentially, let's just say one creature. You hit one creature that comes back, and then Phoenix flips. On Phoenix flipping, because it's an exile trigger, that's 2 Metastatic Evangel proliferate triggers. If there's a way that, again, Josh needs haste, we're giving Josh haste, you flip Josh in response to the Metastatic Evangel triggers.
Hang on, babes. That says activate only as a sorcery.
I am so upset.
But I see what you're cooking. It could be so good.
Oh, they wouldn't let me. They wouldn't let me do this. Reading the cards explains the cards.
I assure you, somebody in the office absolutely fucked up games of Limited, just time-walking their opponents repeatedly, gaining a bunch of life with Joshua on chapters 1 and 2, because they kept doing that because they had access to haste or something. And they were like, okay, you need to stop.
All right, well... just pretend all of the last 2 minutes of my gushing about Joshua were redacted. At the very least, Phoenix enters with a lore counter on 1, but Phoenix also triggers Metastatic Evangel on ETB. So, you're already on chapter 2.
And then you just hit the proliferate from Karn's Bastion or Staff of Completion or whatever you've got.
Yeah. So, like, either way, finishing a Phoenix in, like, the turn after you flip it is totally, like, realistic without the intervention of any other aspect. But also with these summon creatures, they are both payoffs for proliferate, but they are also fuel for proliferates. Mm-hmm. So it is a deck that you can build around other kinds of proliferate. I'm a big fan of the idea of bringing in blue in some instances just to get access to a lot more proliferate power, but also red-white, it turns out, you and I coming at this from very different approaches, very hard to put poison counters on your opponents in red-white without...
Yes.
Something that I was deeply interested in with a little bit of a proliferate engine, being like, what if I just put a poison counter on each of my opponents, and then I flipped Josh into Phoenix, and I flipped Phoenix into Josh, and I flipped Josh into Phoenix.
And just proliferate that poison up. You could do a Mardu poison deck and do that, or you can go Jeskai so that you have access to Techie Fall and the sorcery that poisons.
It's an instant.
It sure is. You're so right.
I may not have read all of the frickin' 10,000 lines of text on Joshua Phoenix's Dominant for missing the redacted part, but I've played Prologue to Phyresis like a billion times.
Hell yeah. That card is very fun.
Well, I have demonstrated why Quinn is the one who sends us off with a bit of the wisdom, because your Fey Empress reads magic cards.
I think that's the wisdom today, TBH. I'm sure we've already done this. However, it just fucking illustrates, gamers. You gotta fucking read the cards, please.
Oh no, I'm the parable today.
Let this be a lesson to you all.
Oh, don't be like me. Read the card. Right, well, we'll see you next time, gamers.
Later, gamers.
Every time, ever since we established like the Johnny Mardu thing, and again, I forget, where did the Johnny Mardu thing come from? I can't remember.
It's from Cranky.
Oh, Cranky, fuck, man. He fucking, you know what? We know some smart people, am I right? So
yeah, he was roasting your ass and he was just like, all right, fucking Johnny Mardu over here.
Yeah. He's got my fucking number, I tell you. Every time we, do smoking mids and stuff, like I do that brief intro. I try to do that kind of like lo-fi, like, hey everyone, let's go talk about the smoking mids dimension. And now that I did like the Johnny Mardu thing, I'm like, do I do the Johnny Mardu thing leading into smoking mids? And honestly, I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I obviously, as we're recording right now, I have no idea what I'm gonna do when I'm editing it later. So it'll be a surprise for everyone.
I'll send you a soundbite.
Fantastic, thank you. All right. So yeah, smoking mids. The Final Fantasy does have a lot of mids that can be smoked. So
sure does.
Go fucking check that shit out. You know what's Quinn? What's fucking loud? Sephiroth. What the fuck are you doing? I'll go back to I'll talk about the previous episode for a second here, because I love how, in case anyone can tell, I know how the last smoking mids went, but I can't talk about, I have no idea what this episode's like because I'm so on top of everything right now. So Yojimbo, Summon Yojimbo is a loud fucking card. Like, that card is sick. It's so cool. 4 mana 5/5s with vigilance with upside never looks so fucking cool. But looking at the price tags of some cards right now is so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, don't do it.
No, I know, right? I say as I traded in a bunch of cards to get a $90 foil Lightning Armies one.
Oh Jesus!
She's perfect and beautiful though, so I understand.
If she goes down, like, I don't care. I didn't spend any money on her, so like I'm not crying about it. But, yeah, shit's fucking ridiculous. So go take a look at those $1 and under mids in Final Fantasy, and you'll be equally as happy. I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to playing Jill, Shiva's dominant. She reads all those. Okay, who am I fucking kidding? All the dominants read good, but like Jill in terms
of really into the 3-mana ETB and return target creature to its owner's hand type of creature lately, and Jill is that with upside. So I'm just like, all right, easy EQ staple, let's rock.
Mm-hmm. But you can also return your own stuff. Like that's also like really good on top of doing like just unsummon in general. Okay, well, since we're on the subject here before we go into like content and stuff, is there any quote-unquote mid card from Final Fantasy that you two can think of off the top of your head? Like, what is like a card that you're like, I like this card, it's not like busted, like it's not super fucking broken out of the gate? Like, what's something that's come up that you two can think of?
Can we talk about the crystals?
Yes.
We like
Hell
the
yeah, dude.
I think
we like
I think this is the perfect space for those.
Yes. Yeah.
I absolutely adore those. They used to like fucking neuron activation when you mentioned the crystals. Like that's my object of obsession lately.
Like,
I think. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Don.
No, I'm just like, it's been so long since we had something in that space. Like, you know, we've had the diamonds.
Some solid mids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we've had the diamonds and we've had the eggs and we've had, you know, all the different things for the colors. But I think the crystals, like, there's a lot of potential in those. I think they're going to be.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
I really do.
I absolutely agree. The red crystal I want to just put in every red deck damn near.
Yeah, we know.
The black crystal I want to put in almost every black deck. I was like gonna put it in Sephiroth, and then was like, wait, no, my death triggers.
No, you can't have that downside. So here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I think so. During pre-sales at my LGS, the crystals were, I think, 20. No, I think they were like $15+ a pop.
That
depending
is
on,
not what I would spend on those.
No. And I was camping them for like the longest fucking time. I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way, right? And we're Canadian stores too, so like the prices are going to be like a little bit different with tariffs and blah blah blah, right? And granted, any packaged product like flew off the shelves. It's been fucking ridiculous. I was there. I'm gonna swing back into the crystals. Give me a second. So I went there earlier in the week to grab an order, and there was someone asking for sealed product, asking if there were any packs available, and they were clean off the shelf. Like Final Fantasy was just gone. Another friend told me that the store was selling the Final Fantasy VII Commander Precon for $190.
Jeez.
And yeah. And then, when it came to, like, when they were adjusting for, like, just before pre-release weekend, like, sales and stuff, the crystals finally went down to about $5-6 a pop, right? Yeah. Which, like, I would say, like, new card does a particular thing. Great, that's what we're looking for, right? Mm-hmm. I would say the crystals are definitely, like, a good mid-card because they're 4 mana. They work with a particular color, and then they have... Are they all 6 mana activation costs for that effect? I think they are, right?
Yeah. I think it's a whole cycle, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that is a 10 mana investment to do what, right? So you get mana reduction, and then, you know, the fire crystal, you get a shadow clone. And the wind crystal...
10 mana investment, but I think of the reduction.
No, the reduction adds up. Let's not get ourselves here. I'm for that.
Like it balances out.
I don't know about you two, but I've found personally, and I think Quinn can agree with this, that like cost reduction, depending on like what the cost reduction is, creatures, equipment costs, paying for equipment period, all this other stuff, like it adds up so much over time. Way more than just being like, I'm the green player, I'm gonna go fucking rabbit growth for rabbit growth. 3 visits, excuse me, I'm gonna go get my Triome or whatever, right? But equipment vendor or weapon vendor or whatever from the set, right? You get a four mana who gives a shit for ETBs. You draw a card, and then during combat you can pay 1 and just equip an equipment. Like, go nuts, right?
Just go ahead and slap that cauldron complete right on.
Yep.
Or what's the fucking mace from Lord of the Rings?
Oh, Nazgul Battle Mace.
Nazgul Battle Mace, thank you. Just, you know what? All this overcosted stuff, just fucking, who cares? I don't need... I would like a Pure Steel Paladin and the Pure Steel Paladins in the Final Fantasy VII Precon, but you could also just get Weapon Vendor along with, like, Arden or whoever and just go freaking arrange it however you want.
Ape shit.
Raban from earlier.
Yeah, Raban, exact same thing. Like, we got a lot of tools. Yeah, the crystals, beautiful. Love that. I'm down for that. That blue one I'm still looking at like, god damn you. Why?
No, I think that's fine, actually. As it turns out, if you get to the late game and if you're doing the blue mage bullshit and you have a fuck ton of cards in your hand, you can just slam that button and kill people.
Yep.
Fair.
I mean, granted, Brandon did mill me out on turn 6. Just fucking killed me. It was great.
Yeah.
It was not great, in fact. It was terrible. But mill, you know what? Who was it? Trenton, I think, on Blue Sky that was like, I don't know, Cole, why don't they just mill you? Why don't they mill everyone for 270 cards? And I'm like, challenge accepted? Like, I feel like, is this a call out or are you proving a point? Because I feel like it's possible, you know?
Yeah.
We're in Commander. The sky's the limit.
Absolutely.
It's possible, it's just hard.
Yep.
Okay, I got one before we go into content here. What is everyone's favorite crystal? We know Quinn is the fire crystal. What do you two got? What's on the top of your head?
The white one for me.
Yeah, okay, all right, I'm with
It
you.
would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the white one's good. I also like the black one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so a bunch of Mardu mages over here. I see us all. Grixis Mean Girls, get the fuck out of here. It's fucking hot Mardu summer again.
No, please, I would never forsake my Grixis Mean Girls.
Not ever.
All right. Okay, well, behind the scenes, you're one color off. Like, we know. We see you.
My heart can hold many allegiances.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. Fucking stab me in the back to my face, why don't you? Okay. Content. What did you two put here? I have not... Is this something you did on stream, or what's going on here?
Yeah, we played
yeah.
precons with Amara.
We did. We played some
Oh, yeah.
Final Fantasy precons with Amara. Donnie's also played the Mardu precon a couple times now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's great. I have enjoyed Terra more than I have Celeste, and I think part of that is because Terra's a little bit cheaper and can have more impact early game.
I can see that, yeah. I haven't seen... You'd think by being Johnny Mardu, I would be totally behind that precon and know everything about it, but seeing Terra and Celis as like the face legends, like, I don't know, you're doing graveyard stuff and you're doing Reanimator and you're playing in the color combination that loves finding waves and pitching the stuff into the graveyard and bringing it back. So like, I've heard from people that it's more of a flavor fail, but in terms of mechanics, like for Magic, like great, fantastic. I love Celis can combo with the fucking little
Persist creatures.
red cap, murderous red cap, I think.
Yeah, that's one of them.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. As usual, the precons continue to slap, like, from what I've seen. Like, have they, I don't know. Can any one of you, because you've all probably played more of the pre-cons than me, has there been a pre-con recently that hasn't been that great out the gate?
I mean, there's usually always one that doesn't quite...
Right. One that doesn't quite blend with all the others, like it's a little powered down. I feel like there's always one.
I think they've been doing a pretty good job at balancing all of those, but the legend in particular that I'm the most, like, giving the most side-eye, I think, is Clavileño from the Vampires and Dinosaurs set recently.
God, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Lost Cabins of Ixalan. There we go.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Clavileño
and Dinosaur set.
Is,
he has just such a big ask that he's asking of you, and you can answer it, but it's just like it takes a lot more doing than comparatively what the rest of the precons wanted of you. So it's kind of just yeet value with very little
dinosaurs. I don't know, fucking dinosaurs. Go fuck off or whatever, right?
Yeah, laws would be like, when you dinosaur.
Yeah.
Fuck off, man.
Exactly.
I know one friend that does run Clavileño deck, but he didn't do the pre. I don't know if it was like the pre-con and then he just added a bunch of vampires to it or whatever, but kind of probably just adding fuel to the fire of what you just said. Yeah, he's like the only guy running that card as a commander, and
I think it's way better than the 99. That's just...
Yeah, probably. Oh, yeah. Well,
I think if you've built the deck around Carmen, Cruel Sky Matcher, and then you just have Clavileño in the 99 to just like be an insurance plan for your investments, then you're probably cooking a little harder, or at least having a potentially greater impact on the game. Because Carmen
is so fucked. My God. Clavileño, First of the Blessed, is 1 white and a black for Vampire Cleric. That's a 2/2. Whenever you attack, target attacking vampire that isn't a demon becomes a demon. I am him. I'm a demon. Fucking. Oh, God. Oh, no. It's just Dracula flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Becomes a demon in addition to its other types. It gains, when this creature dies, draw a card and create a tapped 4/3 white and black vampire or demon creature token with flying. Which all of that reads really well, and that's very cool, but that is like a lot of investment. And you had to be playing vampires.
In practice, it was just a little tough to get all of that going, especially when you're sitting across the table from merfolk and dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Oh, hackball. Fuck.
Yeah.
That fucking card.
Hackball's very strong. That one was very strong.
Yep.
I've had too many people terrify a fucking table with that. We have church. We have Magic Commander Church gatherings every once in a while. I picked that up from the Legendary Creature podcast because they always talk about how they get together for church like every Sunday or whatever. And one of the guys that happens to show up every once in a blue moon, because everyone's like, a lot of these guys that I'm playing with, they're like dads or their parents or whatever. And he showed up with Hackball. Like, he just had the pre-con. Like, he's like, oh, I'm just gonna play this pre-con, and I was just sitting like kitty corner. I was sitting kitty corner to him. I'm like, fuck me, man. And sure enough, like, for someone who's
not what he does,
he like, and he's a relatively new player, so we were walking him through the triggers because like that is what the fucking like. You got to explore and all this, and here's the +1 counters, and just remember this stuff's unblockable because of whatever fuck off river. Fucking
Herald of Secret Streams.
Thank you. Fucking who gives a shit? That piece of shit.
Card.
Fucking Dinah Crick.
And
dude.
don't remember, and don't forget, you got to draw 12 cards every time.
Yeah, exactly. And, you're doing Simic bullshit. You're doing +1 counters. You're doing Merfolk, whatever. Yep. But I was just like, dude, and he's just like, I have no. He's like, he sits there and he just fucking stomping us, and he's just like, damn, this deck is really strong. I'm like, yeah, you have no fucking idea, dude. Like, just. And then, but then, so here's like the escalation. So we have the one dude who has no idea, relatively new in the game, like getting into things or whatever. And then with my buddy Mike, who I bought, I did buy Ocelot Pride off of him for $20, and I bought that foil extended art Summon Yojimbo off of him for $12. So I'm fucking loving my life.
Nice.
But he's like, "Oh, I built Hackball." I'm like, "You motherfucker! I can't believe you." And then he's like, "Anyway, so I do this, and I get a bunch of counters on my stuff, and I explore 20 times, and then it just turns so sideways." I'm like, "You fucker!" Simic bullshit. Am I right?
Yep.
I got off the train and got on the Boros train, and now I'm whatever. So anyway, who played the Limit Break pre-con?
Me.
Yeah, all right, Jen, tell us about that.
I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't like it. It's just
what's up? What happened?
In compared to all the other decks, it was slow. It was slow.
Okay.
I like what it does. It was a lot of fun. Like, I haven't played Equipment in a long time, and I actually had the Hero's Blade in play. Yes, I had it on my commander.
But it just seemed like you couldn't get enough creature. Like, you wouldn't on the draw.
No.
It just...
I'm pretty sure I died first.
Again, I don't know what all these pre-cons look like, because like I only care. Reprints, sure, whatever, but like Cloud. I know you do. Freaking In the Trenches. Oh damn, the whole deck list is out. Freaking copy paste and Moxfield fucking go.
Yep.
But so I'll talk about this a bit later, but there is that balance of like equipment and creatures, and unless you're going full ride or die with Cloud X Soldier in like 10 equipment, like you do got to get the crew out there. It's pretty rough.
I think that's what the deck wants you to do. Like, if you fall into just the knives, then you suit up Cloud and you try and cut someone's head off.
Until they cut off Cloud's head off.
Well, I think
that's why you just give them the indestructible and both of the pairs of boots that are in the deck or whatever.
Yeah, but what if you don't have those, Quinn?
You gotta find
but
those.
What?
Yeah.
But hold on.
Play what you draw into.
But what if, Quinn? But what if? I'll keep acting like the contrarian asshole I am and ask you. But what if? What's the next scenario, Quinn? What if it all falls apart?
We would have made it up, babes. That's the game.
That's the game. But yeah, I mean, you even had like 5 or 6 pieces of equipment.
Yeah.
But most of the time, only ever had Cloud in play.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And with the other 3 decks, the other 3 decks are focused on either removing your creatures, swarming you,
board wipes,
or board wipes.
Stinking board wipes.
Yeah.
Many board wipes.
It just felt, it did feel like it was off balance. It really did.
So I'm trying to... Okay, so hold on. So we got Y'shtola for the Esper deck, which was Final Fantasy XIV. Was it... Tidus was the face, like the precon face for 10. So that's plus 1 counters. Plus 1 counters and creatures. That's so, yeah. And
that
then...
one did really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
Doesn't change the fact that Cloud is probably the most popular... Like the most popular character out of that entire fucking roster.
Are you sure? Y'shtola's doing numbers.
No, okay.
You do not understand the number of Final Fantasy XIV players there are.
Yeah.
No, you're totally right, though. I mean, clearly, I have, I think even my girlfriend, like, tried playing Final Fantasy XIV for a bit on that free trial, you know,
yeah,
to, like,
why not? It's exactly, it's a critically acclaimed MMORPG with a free trial.
Yeah.
Exactly. What's it up to? Storm,
I think
whatever?
It's available up to level 70 with no restrictions on playtime, and includes the award-winning Heavensward expansion, and we might
No, that was the old one. I thought they went to the... Yeah, Stormblood, thank you. I was like, we're going on to the other one. Yeah, no. I understand the power and allure of cat girls in the command zone. I understand this. But
I did a quick search on Moxfield earlier to see how many Y'shtola decks were titled Cat Girl Control, and you know what? Non-zero number.
It was non-zero amount. Yeah, exactly. Like, just everyone's same brain. Same brain cell.
Yep.
They literally look at Cat Girl and go neuron activation Cat Girl, and like that's the fucking thought process.
We've played against the Cat Girl deck a few times now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
so Jen, just to reconfirm, the Final Fantasy VII Cloud X Soldier deck is not $190 Canadian, right?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I would not pay that.
Yeah. I don't know what we're smoking up here, but it's certainly not mids. All right. In terms of content, I think on our end, I mean, I don't know. Quinn and I are over on MTG Lexicon. We have Predators for Change Party Block coming up in a couple weeks. Legendary Creature the Legendary Creature podcast just had their 2-hour-long Final Fantasy episode with Lenny, aka Johnny's Gay Pride Mate, where Lenny just talked about all the games that he had played, and skipped over the ones he did not or knows nothing about, or just said fuck this, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, he just only covered the ones that he was into, and I think that level of buy-in from the narrator makes learning about whatever the fuck is going on in those games pretty good.
If you're talking about over 50% of the games, I feel like
he's got an impressive record. There are a lot of games in that series, and he was able to cover most of them.
You know, Final Fantasy V got underrepresented, but a lot of people are saying that a lot of the other games that are not Final Fantasy 14 were not getting represented. Okay, Shivam Butt was on Twitter and being like, I can't believe Final Fantasy 14 is this popular. This is not a real game to me. That fucking took me out, because his perspective is like, he knows that an MMO would ruin his life in every facet. Like, just said, no, I can't do this. Yep. My ADHD hyperfixation would I'd bankrupt my family. And then he's like, so I just basically treat it as a non-entity, and then it proceeds to get the most representation. I think it definitely got more representation like Final Fantasy 7 or 10.
Yes, by the numbers, it has the most cards in the set.
Yeah. Which, even to me, I have a friend who had played or plays a lot of Final Fantasy 14, and she sent screenshots or she sent memes or whatever that, the memes were thankfully, entry level, your freaking dog could understand it kind of level of entry. Mm-hmm. And I would see bits and pieces, or I'd follow people on social media or YouTube or whatever, and you get to see certain cutscenes, or there's a American music producer, Jason Charles Miller, who did a few of the soundtracks for what is one of the expansions with the Dark Knight on it? Shadowbringers. He did the Shadowbringers music.
Oh, okay.
But the dude is multifaceted. So he goes on to do Final Fantasy 14 music, and if you listen to the Shadowbringers theme, even if you just watch the intro movie or trailer or whatever, I'm like, damn, this whole thing start to finish is hype. The commentary is awesome by the characters or whatever. It's great. He does country music, self-produced on his own, and hit or miss depending if you like country or not. And then he also did Critical Role, he did the intro music for Critical Role years ago.
Nice.
If you're into D&D and stuff. And then he also did it's hard to say necessarily synthwave or whatever. But he was also in Cyberpunk 2077. So this dude fucking does it all. Want orchestra music and country and all this other shit, Jason Charles Miller is the fucking dude. So yes, Final Fantasy 14 is a real fucking game, and that shit is fucking real. And cat girls in the command zone, I don't fucking know where I'm going.
You were
with that.
not immune to cat girl supremacy.
Nope.
I was not immune to catgirl supremacy when I was a teenager on DeviantArt, but we move on.
All right, well, that's some cool lore that we have now.
Yeah.
So I've been swirling my brain in a broth of YouTubers reading Final Fantasy cards to me, and in this particular one, I have a video that was 4 hours of the homie who played every Final Fantasy game, and
that's crazy.
explained basically every card's relation to what it is in the game. And I just marinated in that for some time. That was a good day. and I liked that video, and I would like for other people to see that because it required a just fucking Herculean amount of effort to put together.
Listen, if you are a Heroes Blade vibe check listener, you could definitely watch this fucking YouTube video. If you can listen, I don't know how long this episode is going to be, and we're nearly hitting an hour and 15 minutes approximately in the recording.
We're going to be reasonable.
No, we're not. Quinn, our longest episode is 3 hours and 40 minutes with Mike Carosa.
We're going to be reasonable. Anyway.
Sure. Okay, anyway, so if you got 4 hours, you can watch these fucking videos. Anyway, so, and then there's another Final Fantasy Limited video or whatever.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy Limited, and so it's been relevant to my interest to watch people read Final Fantasy cards and talk about them in the context of playing Limited. In particular, I watched an episode of the Magic Jank podcast that was the Final Fantasy Limited episode. Jen and Donnie, members of Team Magic Jank here. We had the other homies from them. Headology and Hamhawks and
Steve Favreau.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, Carlo. Just getting together, talking about the cards, what they do in that metagame, and their experiences drafting them, what they're putting together, what's winning, what's not, and all of that's been interesting because I don't usually pay attention to what's going on in Limited, and I don't know. It's nice to care about that now. I like Limited for this set.
I have heard from some posts and stuff that I've seen that Limited is actually really good.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
That's good.
As it turns out, they did not phone it in just the
Absolutely
commander
not.
set.
No, it's so fucking sick. No matter what you're drafting, you can draft I think all of the archetypes feel pretty well supported. There's plenty of bullshit that you can sacrifice to your Orzhov sacrifice deck. There's the blue-red spells, there's blue-black control, there's blue-white artifacts. You can do whatever the fuck you want in that set. It all holds hands really nicely. Me personally love the Grixis Vile Wizards deck. You just play all your shitty little black mages and your non-creature spells that actually are creatures because they're job select equipment, and you get all your little pinging wizards because you're snapping up all those black mages rods. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I think even seeing some of it translated into commander decks. I mean, what is a good display of a Limited set in a commander deck, right? Because you can make that Grixis Mean Girls aggro fucking wizard shit in a deck, and
you can, and we'll talk about it.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Very briefly.
Yeah, no. This set looks ridiculously sweet in general.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you can expand to 100 card singleton from draft archetypes.
We have some very cynical people even being like, God damn it, I gotta get a card or two from this set. Prophet of Ares was he has a Mavinda deck, and there was a Rano-ass card from the pre-cons that were target creature gets whatever, any number of target creatures get indestructible and whatever, right?
Is that Aerith's Restoration magic?
I have to go triple check, but he was just Mavinda's got a new card. Hell yeah. I'm fuck yeah, all right. Yeah. If you're a Jund land reanimator, no one fucking gives a shit. You got everything you wanted and more. We know this.
Yep.
And if you weren't sure, Summon Titan, that's got the mill 5 cards and then a Splendid Reclamation for you on the next chapter, and then a +X for the number of lands that you control to the target creature on the last chapter. Bro, put that in your green decks. It's also a 7/7 with Reach and Trample. Fuck them.
Yeah, no, I've been eyeballing Titan. I'm fucking gonna get on that stuff soon. Okay, so since we're on the topic right now, so Doni and Jen, is there been if you could think of one card from the set that you could or have added to a previously assembled deck, what is the card and what is the deck, and why did you add it?
So
Like,
in the
one card stood out above all.
In the Commander product, there was Sin, the Simic Sin, which I love that card so much. After I read it, it was even better. And that's going in my Simic Sea Creatures deck for sure. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot it was a Leviathan. Yeah, that's overwhelmingly compatible.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. I know. Donnie's got some mono white stuff. I know he wants to.
Yeah, he's definitely going to put
but that's why I said
Darian,
one card. One card. Hit us with it.
He's going to talk about 10 right now.
I'm eating so good. Darian is eating so good from Final Fantasy. But I think one of the key cards is the Moogle that makes Moogles.
The Moogle Instant. It's amazing.
The
Moogle that makes Moogles is Mog Moogle Warrior.
Yes. Yeah.
Donnie wants the
Unless you're talking about Summon Good King Mog, who is also a Moogle that makes Moogles.
No, I think you're talking about the 5-mana one that makes Moogles and gives you stuff like Indestructible or whatever.
Moogle's Valor, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He wants that.
It fits because, like, what is Darian doing? Darian wants to go wide. Darian wants to gain life, and Darian just wants to collect all of those triggers in between. And this literally, like, saves the team, makes more creatures. Like, it does all of the things that I want to do. And
Moogle's Valor is actually really funny like that, because if somebody's casting a board wipe and then you're just like, fuck you, and also I'm doubling my board state just for that.
Yeah.
Fuck you and the horse you rode in on. We are not playing this game right now.
Instead of that old guy in Final Fantasy XIV standing in front of an apocalypse ending event, and he's just like, no, we're just saying Moogles, fuck you, fuck off. Like, just...
Yeah, it's just like in Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Cody, sound off in the comments if you've gotten to that part yet.
Oh, yeah. Cody from Burger Review is currently in the middle of playing Final Fantasy VI, and I need to catch up. I think I'm gonna find a way to play 4 pretty soon. I know I need to get into that.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Everyone's fucking talking about it. I have a card that I did not think I was going to need, but it was like the only card that I added to Megatron recently. Yes, I'm talking about Megatron. Give me a second here. So, Edgar Master Machinist from the Final Fantasy VI Precon. 2 red and a white for that human noble artificer dude. I don't know who this fucking guy is, but he looks pretty cool. Once during each of your turns, you may cast an artifact spell from your graveyard. If you cast a spell this way, the graveyard enters the battlefield tapped. Who gives a shit?
I'm getting it. That's all that matters.
Dude. Look, I'm going to cast Demonic Junker for 1 mana.
Yep.
And I'm going to sacrifice it to Megatron to laser something and someone for approximately 7 damage.
Yep.
And then I'm going to cast Demonic Junker again for 1 mana from the graveyard. And it's going to enter the battlefield tapped. I don't care. It's fucking awesome. I love this thing. There's some other text on him about him getting power based off the greatest mana value of artifacts when you attack with him. But, like, I'm not attacking with this fucking dude.
Nope.
This dude is pure reanimation fuel. It's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Unacceptable. If you see this man, target this man with
kill
removal.
this man. Don't be. I still feel so bad for Mike, and I know Mike listens. So, Mike, I apologize again. But in our game with you, Kristen, and Quinn, holy fuck, man, that was so brutal. Okay, so actually, speaking of Mike, so he messages me. We're in the middle of stream yesterday. And he messages me, and all he sends me is a photo of Genova, in the foreground with some foil Hydra from Thunder Junction behind him. But anyway, he's got Genova. Yeah. He's got Genova, Ancient Calamity in the command zone, and like that is a fucking bonkers ass card. Let me talk about this. So you got 2 black and a green for an alien. That's a 1/5. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put a number of +1 counters equal to Genova's power on up to 1 other target creature. That creature becomes a mutant in addition to its other types. And then whenever a mutant you control dies during your turn, you draw cards equal to its power. I don't think I need to tell anyone how good that is.
Nope.
And Mike's like, bro, it's drawing so many cards. I'm like, Mike, I need you off the sauce, bro. Like, Glory is already doing this.
It doesn't matter. Now it gets another way to do it. Also, I'm playing that card and it whips.
I know you are. I know you fucking are. You're like, oh, I'm gonna get Rog, Ravenous Rider in the command zone. I'm like, Quinn, we're here to smoke mids. What the fuck are you doing?
No, all of this is in the 99 of a slot pile. We'll talk about it later.
Oh my god, we're here to talk about it anyway. All right. Well, anyway. What's next? Kristen's got another article about the top 10 Final Fantasy commanders. What she considers to be the top 10 potential commanders in a commander deck. We're just gonna spoil number 4 and number 1. Any of the other ones that you're already thinking of, they're probably on the list. But she put Lightning Army of 1 at number 4, so you know that she's not biased or anything or something. I don't fucking know.
No, of course not.
I was surprised she didn't put that shit at number 1. Terra Magical Adept / Esper Terra is at number 2. So Quinn, you're validated or whatever. That's a good card. And then Squall Seed Mercenary at number 1, which I was actually surprised to see him get that high up, personally. But
it's an interesting card.
I'm not shocked, especially after like other Voltron command. I mean, Dogmeat was probably
Dogmeat's fucking busted though.
It really is.
I think that's going to be the expectation for Cloud, and I think you probably get there.
Not Cloud, Squall.
Or sorry, not
those
Cloud,
are two.
Squall.
Those in fact are two different. Those are in fact two different characters from two different games. But honestly, they're anime pretty boys. They're the same thing. Quinn doesn't refute. Jen's like, Jen. Oh my god. All right.
Sure.
But yeah, go check out. I don't know. As usual, Kristen's on fire. But I haven't mentioned her stuff recently. But that particular one, there was a couple other articles that she's written recently about Final Fantasy. Like what's best in the 99. I love how she did name. There is the other one that she made about where her line in the sand for Universes Beyond is, but I love how the image is, does Final Fantasy pass the vibe check? And you know what? I had to take that to the fucking bank. We duly inspired that. Trust me on that. Don't crush my spirits. All right. Any other content we want to think about before we head on to Brews Off the Shelf? Nothing? Nada?
No,
all
I
right.
can't think of anything.
I think we've done our
that's
job.
it for the content soup.
Brews Off the Shelf. You two are working on some stuff in particular that I am very interested in seeing what the end result of it is going to be.
Yeah, I was in not the 99, the stream chat for this one.
Yep. Benji challenged us. He goes, whatever first one you get, that's the, Surge Foil.
Yep.
Surge Foil,
yeah. Yep.
Yep.
And we both got mono red. Go figure.
Yeah, which one did you get? You got the...
So mine is the non-creature spells that create treasures. They just need to
Prompto or Gemtone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
1 and a red for a 2/2 human scout with haste with selfie shot. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, if at least 4 mana was spent to cast it, create a treasure token.
Yep.
My poor boy Prompto.
I actually think that this card owns. I played it in a draft earlier today, and I cast non-creature spells and made treasures and was able to go further with casting bigger and bigger spells.
Yeah.
And I think that you can just play this guy as your not Reign of Riches, but the 4 mana sorceries that you discard a card and draw 2 and make treasures.
Unexpected Windfall, all that other stuff.
Just
Yeah.
play a pile of those and make treasures. You can do a nice little burn storm deck kind of thing, or just
I think you could
ramp hard.
You could get some of the red cards from Bloomburrow that cares about how much mana you're putting into spells.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Discard your hand, draw cards, because you're probably casting all these red spells anyway that are doing the exact same thing, so you might as well get 2 or 3 cards back in your hand when you're doing it.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. Prompto's gonna go in somewhere for me personally.
And use haste. Like, there's a lot you can hang your hat on there.
Yep.
And then Donnie got the
Scout.
I got
Van
Vaughn.
Street Thief.
Yep. I got Van Street Thief, and I've already got it built. I named
Of
it.
course.
I named it Van Wild and Out because
Nice.
I only know how to play mono red one way, and that's aggro. So I'm leaning into like it's a very short curve, but I'm doing all of the discard treasure token. I think I've got 4 7-mana spells in that deck because if I'm on my game plan, then I should have more than enough treasures.
You should have well enough treasures
to run everything out, and I'm actually running Prompto in my 99.
Oh, yeah, because he's also a scout. Yeah.
Because he's a scout, so I'm doing scout and rogue and pirate shenanigans
and pirates.
I'm really excited for this deck.
Benwa is crying and screaming and pissing in the corner because he's not getting his black pirates. They keep giving it to red. So let's talk about Van Street Thief for a second, because holy shit. 200 red for a 2/2 human scout. This is the guy from Final Fantasy 12. Whenever one or more scouts, pirates, or rogues you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You may cast it if you don't create a treasure token. Well, I love getting 3 treasure tokens per turn if I don't cast their spells. That's already pretty good. Whenever you cast a spell you don't own, put a +1 counter on each scout, pirate, and rogue you control. What the fuck?
I mean,
cracked.
I think there's 37 creatures in the deck, and every single creature is one of those creature types.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Easy. I am looking fondly at Thunder Junction for any of the mercenaries that could probably fly into this deck.
Yep, absolutely. There's some of those in there.
2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 on that.
I got some spree cards. I got some offspring. I mean, it's definitely a love letter to the last 2 years of mono red goodness.
Ragavan, eat your heart out, man.
Ragavan's in there, Carrie Zeb's in there. We're doing all the things.
We got Ragavan for Commander. We've expanded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I think between the two of you, I think Donnie, you're eating way better. But Jen, you're also Jen, so I believe in you.
Yeah, exactly.
Donnie eat shit.
It'll be fun.
Oh, I'm sure it'll gas out more often than it wins, but
I mean, you're taking people's stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like there's got to be something in those piles that'll end up better than not. But
absolutely, sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gas out in your mono red game plan, but you exile your opponent's cards, so you basically are still drawing cards, and you'll find things to do.
Yep.
Okay. Quinn.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
So I have just like 4 deck lists to potentially talk about. Well, not even 4. It's 3 actual legends and then a couple of things that we can talk about in the abridged section in the last one. So let's get to it. Fucking Sephiroth posting.
Sephiroth! I can't put this song in without YouTube like blinking this shit. I might actually put it in. I might. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Well, wait. You have. Oh no, you did. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We're fine.
No, I haven't done One Winged Angel.
Oh, Quinn, you're killing me. All right, Sephiroth posting.
I can do One Winged Angel.
Fantastic. All right.
So anyway, we talked a little bit about it last time, where I had I had taken Sephiroth and like swapped him for Ashnod at the head of that deck and just like ran that, and it was like all right, but it didn't really cook. Since then, I guess me and Sephiroth have attuned, and now I'm like, we're locked in, and that deck, it works a lot better than it did the first time we played it. So I'm probably gonna keep Sephiroth in the command zone on that one. As it turns out, when you put a busted mythic rare that draws cards and is Blood Artist in the command zone, you maybe have a better time playing that than you do if you're, playing something that's not.
You're trying to Ashnod fucking post on us? Like, come on.
Yeah, listen, Ashnod was very cool, but she's not as powerful of a card or as high impact as that guy. He is the fabled soldier. He's him. Mm-hmm. Like, it's fucking Sephiroth.
Yep.
So the deck basically still has no sack outlets besides Sephiroth, and that's fine. I think that's a way that you can kind of, air quotes, smoke mids with the deck.
My Fae in cardboard, you have Dockside Chef in part of this list. What are you talking about?
Alright, so you have to spend mana on that. You're gonna tell me that that's a real sack outlet when people are playing Ashnod's Altar and
you're drawing cards off of it. That is a real fucking sack outlet. I don't want to hear it from you. I fucking name dropped Dockside Chef in a game a couple of years ago, and people are like, Dockside Extortionist. I'm like, first of all, I'm not playing Red and Sacrival. No, it's Dockside Chef. And if I can instill the fear in your heart like this, then I should probably keep playing it. I haven't played it since.
That said, you can look at that and see that the quantity of sack outlets for supposedly an aristocrat's deck is just not there. Like, it's literally like Sephiroth and I guess Dockside Chef.
God, and, Eternal Bontu.
The Dragon and Bontu.
Yeah. Do you gotta love, wait, where's that Hellkite? It's not the Witch Hellkite?
Witch Kite.
Oh, it is there. Sorry. It was blurred in between. Well, it was right beneath Bontu. What the fuck am I doing here?
Not reading cards, that's for sure.
Commander player that reads Magic the Gathering cards? I would never.
Does that?
Oh. You know what? I was going to call you out on being a dirty, filthy Sephiroth player, but I am right behind you, so...
Yeah, you are also a dirty, filthy Sephiroth player.
Yeah.
That said, the deck of fucking rips. I had some absolutely bananas play experiences, one of which is involving dual-wielding Sephiroth, and then another one that we'll get to in a sec. So this first one, I cast Sephiroth. We've got this like 2-mana rock that we've got sitting around, and that is useful because immediately after casting that and casting Sephiroth, we cast the 4-mana bargain spell in black mana from...
Wilds of Eldraine or whatever.
Yeah, Beseech the Mirror. There we go.
Yeah,
yeah.
I was there, witness to that. It was so fucked.
Yes, you were here for that. You're like, what the fuck is going on? And then I go find Bitter Blossom.
Oh Jesus!
Hey, well.
That's perfect.
Cloud.
You're like losing your shit expecting
Cloud,
to
I'm going to summon a bunch of fairies.
I'm going to do something extremely wicked, Cloud. Being able to feed Sephiroth is crucial, so I wanted to just like make sure that I had one of the best token generators in the game here doing that for me. So we went and made sure that we spent that on the Bitter Blossom, and that was correct. We were validated in that because the rest of the card draw that I got from that was exactly what we needed to draw into the Buster Sword, which we cast and put on, I think, Kane, who was around at the time. Man, what a cool card.
Oh, you did? No, you did actually do that. Yeah, so this is our game against Benwa and Medusa, and
that's a good game.
Fuck. Having Quinn's equipment on Benwa's Kane was not good at all. In fact, it was in fact very bad for us.
Whatever, dude, just draw cards about it.
Yeah, well, yeah, but then you get your Buster Sword to trigger, and we can't have that.
Whatever, you're drawing 8 cards or whatever and making a bunch of tapped treasures. Like, you'll find a way out. Anyway, we're not relitigating this. Y'all made some fucking clown shoes decisions, IMO.
Whatever.
So anyway, we got to cast the Masamune off of a Buster Sword trigger, which is just like, that's Sephiroth's sword, so you know it's going to go ham with him. So shit was fucked from there. If you've got that sword equipped and you sacrifice a creature on attacks to Sephiroth, and your opponent has like a creature, the sword makes it so that Sephiroth has first strike and he has to be blocked. So with the death trigger, the other thing that it does is it doubles all of the death triggers that Sephiroth or the emblem that he makes sees. So you sacrifice a creature on attacks, you put 2 death triggers on the stack, your opponent has to block, you kill their creature, you put 2 more death triggers on the stack, that's 4 gamers, and that's the quantity required for the orchestra to hit the, Sephiroth. And then we summoned, or rather, we transformed him into the One-Winged Angel and just, it's a good card. You get that Blood Artist emblem, and on attacks you can sacrifice any number of creatures and draw that many cards, which is just, I'm out here fucking, I've been making shitty little dudes all game. So
Jeez, we thought
turn,
Van was wilding out, and then now we have fucking Sephiroth just going fucking off. Like,
yeah, that guy attacks, and I'm just hoovering up all these little guys. I'm getting all those cards in there. I'm putting a bunch of Blood Artist triggers on the stack that are all getting doubled because Sephiroth has his sword in hand. It's just not okay, dude.
fucking shaking my fucking head here.
I had another experience though where, like we talked about, very few sack outlets in the deck.
Yeah.
But Cody decides to give me the world because he doesn't fucking realize what is happening yet.
Cody, dude. So this was on stream last night. And I was heading out. I'm like, we're like, hey, we started early. We had some East Coasters come on. We had Missy come on. We had P-Frizz showing up, and then we were like, hey, I gotta head out. Who's gonna take my place? And Missy's like, I'm heading out, and all this other stuff. And Gabe headed out, and Cody jumps in. And I'm like, cool, I'll get you all set up, whatever. I got the stream running on in the background. What the fuck, dude?
Bro, what is this context anyway?
It's just the setup of like, let's set the scene. Cody comes in, innocent as can be, has no idea that Quinn is gonna play Sephiroth and rock everyone's fucking world, and he thinks he's being
equally
he thinks he's playing Quinn. Hit me with the quote. Correct me when the big brain champion, whatever the fucking thing is. I can't remember.
No, absolutely not.
You said it. You fucking said it. Okay, anyway. Continue with your story. I have nothing else to contribute.
Absolute champion brain genius motherfucker. Unlimited.
But instead, it was actually you doing that.
Yeah, so Cody thinks he's making a really smart move, because I'm like amassing a board state full of sacrifice fodder, and I can only sacrifice one thing a turn. But that is about to change, because Cody's like looking at my board state, and my Grave Titan, who's just like pumping out 2/2 zombies every time I go to combat, and there's a concordant crossroads on the battlefield, so the first turn I play that Gravy T, he's coming down, he's making 2 zombies, he's attacking, he's making 2 more zombies. Gamers are not trying to see me have this board state, so he does what he thinks is the correct move and casts an Archfiend of Depravity. And that guy requires, at the end of every player's turn, for them to sacrifice down to 2 creatures. Cody, my guy, congratulations. You've just become my sacrifice outlet.
In a normal, regular-ass Commander game, that demon is fucking keeping people in check. But in this particular case...
It is absolutely fucking backbreaking anywhere but the deck where I'm playing Sephiroth. And so I'm just loving this. I'm making a bunch more bodies.
In any other normal context, Quinn would be like, can't have shit around here. And in this fucking context, you're fucking... laser eyes, like fucking, oh yeah? Damn, Sador, dab me up, Cody. Fucking,
just like,
yeah, let's
damn,
go.
I have to sacrifice down to 2 creatures? Shame. I guess I'll keep Sephiroth and Grave Titan and put 4 death triggers on the stack.
You know, as much as we're giving you shit, Donnie, in any other game that we play, my God, look at this. Look at this bitch. Can you believe this?
Oh, believe me, I'm aware.
Fucking villain. And so I transformed that guy into Sephiroth, and Cody, in his infinite wisdom, is like, shit, dude, we gotta I can't have you sacrificing a bunch of creatures on attack. I'm gonna kill Sephiroth. We send him back to the command zone. Unfortunately, this was also the incorrect decision because I resummoned Sephiroth and now I have 2 blood artists.
Oh shit.
And the Archfiend is still there.
Oh god.
We are not going to let this man is going to suffer to the end. He's going to get to this part and he's going to be like, why are you putting me on blast like this? Because it's too iconic not to, all right?
Exactly.
Like, this is...
Because I do all of this and ultimately I don't even fucking win the game. I put myself in this very commanding position, but all the time, Cody, on this incredibly resilient Mardu grind game plan helmed by Terra, gets to just fucking put these creatures into the graveyard and take them out of the graveyard, just blocking and bobbing and weaving and putting larges on the battlefield and finally getting to the end where he's got the win condition of that deck, basically the Kefka dancing mat, I think
so, yeah.
And that guy has an end step trigger that takes a spell from each of your opponent's graveyard, and when you cast it, burns them for the mana value of the spell. So he's been able to do enough combat damage to get me down low enough that if this is successful, then he takes me out of the game before I can fucking balloon my life total back up with more Blood Artist life gain. And he fucking does it. Rips the Sir Conrad from my graveyard. I'm at 4 life total. I take 5 damage and fucking die.
And this is why we don't play good cards, everyone.
That's
the
right.
evil was defeated.
By another evil. Like, this is...
And sometimes the only way to stop a world-ending calamity final boss is with another world-ending calamity final boss.
That's right.
I know we talk about the Fortnite-ification / Smash Bros-ification of like Commander games, but like that is still a fucking Commander-ass game. It doesn't matter what kind of coat of paint you got on it. Like,
from the dawn of Commander, people from wildly disparate aesthetics have been squaring up against each other and having incredible storytelling moments just like that. This is the same shit.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Or fucking dinosaurs from Ixalan clashing with your robots from the Brothers War, like, bro.
Yeah, we've been here, done that. This
You're
is the
fine.
This is the ultimate showdown of Ultimate Destiny, all right? We're fucking going crazy here.
Yep.
Yeah, I have, being as someone who's born witness to Sephiroth, in a game and out of a game.
Yeah, you saw his ass in here at the planet.
What the fuck, man? It's brutal. I do find this incredibly funny. Again, I want to go back to this. In any other context, you could be me relentlessly blowing up Quinn's board state and just Quinn saying once, can't have shit around here, and then enters, I'm just gonna play Tekken 3 in the background because this game fucking sucks. This is terrible.
I will complain precisely once, and then I'm like, alright, cool.
Yep.
I think, who were we playing with recently where you just fucking grabbed your earbuds, you just fucking threw it on the table, and you're like, I'm gonna be right back.
Oh, that was me.
I think that was literally this one.
Oh,
That was
okay.
me.
That was during Donnie's turn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go grab a
get
snack.
a snack.
You know what? All right. Let's talk about that game. Let's talk about that for a minute. So
God.
we finally got a game in with you two before this recording happened, and you know, not the first time we've had this pod dynamic exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I was underperforming that game, despite the fact that I was giving Quinn grief the entire fucking time, because what else are we here to do? And then Jen, of course, won that game because, of course, as we're all squabbling amongst ourselves like children, and Quinn is like, cool, anyway, I'm playing, like, Breath of Fire 4 or whatever in the fucking background because Anyway, I passed the turn. What? Huh? Did I fucking stutter? I passed the turn. All right. And Jen's like, cool. Whee!
Yep, just like that.
Yep.
Giants.
Let me just hold on. I got my spreadsheet for this specifically. Let's go take a look here. So, Donnie was playing Sakashima and Tavesh.
Yep.
I just want to state for the record, I was hangry, literally my bad. That's why I got up to go get a snack. I'm like, my levels of irritation are completely irrational.
My blood sugars. I need a fucking Snickers. Like, fucking get me. That's so funny. I was playing Sephiroth Fallen Hero. I was playing Sephiroth Fallen Hero. Quinn, you were playing the Flip Terra. You were 5-color Terra. Donnie was on Sakashima Tavesh, which had already... what the fuck, Donnie? The hell is all that? And then, but then really, the real villain was Jen with Ganex, an acolyte of Bahamut, just making copious amounts of fucking treasure tokens.
So many.
Making a boatload of dragons. We're fighting for our fucking lives. And I thought, just when I thought... I'd fucking gotten back into it. Quinn, of course, was sent to the Shadow Realm, and then Jen was right back in the number 1 position. Yeah, that game was a fucking mess for a bunch of different reasons.
It was a mess. It absolutely was a mess.
I was fine with it. I think it was a great game.
Bro, Agent of Treachery sucks.
Yeah, Donnie, what the fuck, man? Okay, so Donnie, I know we were putting you on blast, and you put yourself on blast when you were playing that game, but like, my God, I've never seen a man look at his pile of cards and was like, "What the fuck do I do? What? How do I get? Out of this? What do I do?"
I'm trying to cast
so hard every turn.
I'm trying to cast 2 7-mana bombs in a single turn, and then for whatever reason, I couldn't find more than 12 fucking mana. Okay.
Yeah.
I know it fucking works, but I just couldn't fucking get there, and you know.
Okay, so if I sequence it like this, I got it.
Yep.
I'm at 11 mana. Fuck.
I don't got it.
Back to the drawing
exactly.
board. We can figure this out. It's like watching a man do a Rubik's Cube puzzle. Like, you either got it, you don't, right?
It was bad.
It was a lot like that.
Yep.
It is so frustrating to be in the tank and be like, I know I can do it. Like, I know I can get myself out of this situation somehow. Or just, like, you lure yourself in the false sense of, like, security of, like, I got it, right? No. Unfortunately, you do not. No. And I've been fighting for my fucking life the last few games that I've had, and I have that exact same feeling, and just... I'll talk about it in a second here, but, like, holy fuck. I don't know what it is between Sephiroth and Squall right now. Squall's gotten a win. My Squall deck's gotten a win the last little bit. I was gonna... I have too much to talk about, but my narrative...
Bro, I looked at that deck list for Squall. It is removal down. What the fuck, my guy?
Okay, let's talk about Squall for a second here.
Explain myself.
Listen, because... Okay, let's talk about Squall Seed Mercenary. So this guy is a 4-mana 3/4 who happens to be a knight. That could matter. When you attack with a creature by itself, it gains double strike until end of turn, and then whenever Squall deals combat damage to a player, you return target permanent card with mana value through a list from your graveyard to the battlefield. So the one part of the deck is getting non-fetch lands into the graveyard so I can bring him back and keep ramping.
Mm-hmm. And adhere to your moral code, of course. It can't be a Marsh Flats, but you would absolutely get the one.
I will never. No, I'm not fucking getting a fucking Marsh Flats. You fucking have to pay me money to get it. The other part of the deck is stuff like, casual Toxic Deluge. No big deal. I can't bring that back.
Casual.
Fucking Vona's Hunger.
Okay, let's go into the permanents here. Wait, Vona's Hunger? I don't have Vona's Hunger in this deck. Can you get out of here?
A different version of it. You literally cast
I did not have Vona's... Okay, I had Vertice's Maneuver. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me?
Whatever the fuck.
Oh, jeez. This is the podcast in a nutshell. I say play more removal. Quinn hits the bong and then calls me out for daring to play removal.
It's not that you were daring to play removal. It's that I go and try and play literally your deck list on MTGO, and it is just removal, and the rest of the game plan is like, where's the rest of the game plan?
I'm fighting for my fucking life to do literally anything else except...
remove permanence.
Yes, well, look, when you're between a rock and a hard place, you got to play more removal. So anyway, the suite of removal in this deck is actually pretty selective. When you get to the instant sorcery cards that do this stuff, you got stuff like Gix's Command. So each opponent can sacrifice a creature with the highest power. So it's usually whatever Quinn's using to fucking win the game. Silver Quill Command just says each target opponent sacrifices a creature, and if you only have one creature, I'm sorry, you got. I have been loving Covetous Elegy from the Clue set.
That shit in particular was offensive. Killing everything and then fuck you, here's treasures for it.
So Quinn is on 5-color fucking
set mechanic
summons. Like, oh, I'm gonna play fucking Terra, great, no big deal. I'm gonna put Knights of the Round out and make a bunch of knights, and then I'm gonna copy the trigger or do it again or advance the chapter or whatever, and I'm gonna make more fucking knights.
Mechanically, what happened is I used I just fucking hard cast Knights of the Round, and then we flip Terra, and her backside makes a shadow clone of a summon, and you can put up to 3 lore counters on it. So naturally, we copy Knights of the Round, and we made 3 knights off the first chapter. We put the full 3 lore counters because the first 3 chapters of that shit is make 3 knights. So I'm sitting here squared up with Knights of the Round and 12 knights, and what does Cole do? Look at my board state and cast removal at it.
Yeah. Because again, as we've established, Quinn can't have
shit around here.
Fucking... Yeah, so anyway, I cast Covetous Elegy, and I think I had killed Knights of the Round beforehand, and then also cast...
No, somebody else cast an edict, and so I had to sacrifice Knights of the Round.
Beautiful. Love it. Covetous Elegy reads 4 white and a black for sorcery that says each player chooses up to 2 creatures they control, and then sacrifices the rest. Then you create a tapped treasure token for each creature your opponents control. So in optimal conditions, you get 6 tapped treasures. But more in particular, you make...
kill everything and then style on me with treasures afterwards.
Bam! Dab on him! I don't give a shit. Fuck off. That clue set fucking rips for some of the stuff in there, but Covetous Elegy 100%. In this deck is fucking hilarious. Mostly in particular because then I could... Covetous Elegy, you probably have to keep 2 tapped creatures in play because they're the best ones you got and you already used them. And then I have Squall come in, pristine, bring in the stuff that I sacrificed back, and it's a beautiful fucking thing, and it's a beautiful world. Yes, this
it's
deck...
a beautiful thing conceptually. I don't think you've managed to realize that I've seen yet.
Yeah. Anyway, I put Sheltered by Ghosts in this deck just to put you more on tilt.
Just to piss me off.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a Voltron deck that can reanimate stuff for further use, and I also happen to have a suite of removal that works really well against target Empress Quinn.
The fucking anti-Quinn laser.
We have all been playing this game too fucking long. Like, this is... What are some notorious Doni-isms and Jen-isms that happen in a Commander game? Jen, don't know, Jen. I see that face there. What do you do? We know what Doni does. I've been giving Doni shit. Now, don't shake your head and pretend like you don't know.
I don't know. Doni knows. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Doni, hit us with it. What does Jen do? What's Jen's Commander ick?
Jen's Commander ick is
flies under the radar until the last minute and wins the game.
Probably just a whole
lot of the time,
hanging out and minding her own business. She's not like, she doesn't shit talk often, and if she is talking shit, then she usually can back it up.
Damn it, you're so right.
But most of the time, it's just like she'll hang out and more. There'll be if everybody else is attacking, Jen probably isn't. Like,
yeah, true.
So it's kind of one of those things where you just gotta, and granted, I'm a great target, so, people are coming to me, and Quinn's a great target, and people are going to Quinn. And if we're playing with Cole, I mean, we all know Cole's a fucking problem.
I can't stop running my mouth.
Or if we're playing with Corey or Beth, or, just about anybody else.
You get Corey and Beth in a table, my fucking god, you are never surviving.
No. Try playing with Beth, Corey, and Donnie, and me, and that...
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jen.
Yeah,
you have no hope.
That is a lot. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Damn.
No. We used to do Earhole Violators, and that's what we called it. It was Earhole Violators with the four of us, and... we might just go back
fucking rowdy on the mic.
Yep, exactly. And I think we're going to try bringing that back.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Let's go.
Absolutely, because that's what really got us all,
a lot of fun with that.
into doing this on the regular. So, yeah, I think we're looking forward to that.
Woe be the fourth player in that pod because holy shit. You're like, Jen's busy, so Donnie's here, and then we need a fourth, and you're like, holy fuck, you better be bringing the fucking heat, because damn. I remember, Donnie, I think you invited me out to a game with Corey and Beth for the first time, it's years ago now.
Uh-huh.
And I did not know, I knew who Beth was from, a profile picture, and I had not interacted with all, and I didn't, this is Beth. Cool, it's Beth, and it's Corey. Yeah, okay, cool. I think I know who Corey is. And then
where you are, blood feuds with both of them.
Yep.
Beth's got it out for me in particular. Corey, I think we don't have that type of antagonistic relationship, but things have changed.
Oh yeah.
He's playing is going to build Zidane Tantalus Thief. So I'm like, damn, this man after my own heart. And then I'll be on the receiving end of it and be like, what the fuck, Corey?
Yep.
I'm gonna steal your shit, but I'll give it back to you, make a treasure token until I don't. And you're like, I do that on the regular, what the fuck? Yeah. Anyway, I will not apologize for this Squall Seed Mercenary deck, because you and I and everyone knows this could be way fucking worse.
Sure.
Yeah, it could be like my Toxic Rakdos aggro experience deck with Alesha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I purposely avoided putting Fleshbag Marauders in here.
Otherwise, the deck is just fleshbag on combat damage, fleshbag on combat damage every turn until your opponents are dead.
You and I both know this isn't fun, but I guess if you're playing for money or something, sure, go ahead. But, yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah. So I did get a win. I'm pretty sure I talked about it last episode, but getting to go against the whole table and then more or less successfully Voltron everyone out by sheer value. This is the deck, and you know what? Maybe Kristen does have a point of Squall being number one on top 10 commanders for Final Fantasy, because he does the work. So yeah, Quinn. So hold on. So Doni and Jen, do you have any other decks or games to talk about for this section before I just bulldoze you and have Quinn take the wheel?
I don't think so.
No. We're good listening to Quinn.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Aren't we all? All right, Quinn. What do you got next?
All right. Up next, we got Dion, Bahamut's Dominant.
What a Chad.
Truly, yeah, he's him.
He's him in the game, and he's also him in the card game. Let's read what Dion does.
Yeah, he's a 4-mana, a 3 and a white legendary creature, human noble knight. During my turn, Dion and other knights I control have flying, and when he enters, I make a 2/2 white knight creature token. And I can spend 6 and tap him to exile him and return him to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control at sorcery speed, of course. And the backside is Bahamut, Warden of Light, a 5/5 flying legendary enchantment creature saga dragon. And chapters 1 and 2 put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature you control. Those creatures gain flying until end of turn. And then the last chapter, destroy target permanent and then exile it and return it to the battlefield.
And make another knight.
Yeah. Because you reproc the ETB.
That's
a lot of card on that card.
Yeah.
It's very mono white.
Yeah.
The dominants are cool, just straight up.
Oh yeah.
I'm very excited. I also want to make Dion. I'm not gonna lie. I'm right aboard on this dude. He's so cool.
We are sharing a brain cell.
You know, we did Captain Howler, and now we're gonna do some Dion, and God knows what else. But I'm gonna see if I can get Clive going. But I need to look further into that.
Like we talked about, obviously have the Clive Dragon up, but I'm also taking another look at him as more just like enchantments and other devotion-heavy onboard permanents. And dragons, of course, because it's red mana, and those always have more than one red pip. So we're going to see what happens with that pile. We'll report back, maybe. In the meantime, Dion, Bahamut's dominant. I opened this in draft and fucking crushed the opponent in draft when I activated the ability and turned him into Bahamut, and the opponent was like, I've seen enough, concede.
Shit. All right. Well, yeah, that'll really do it for you.
There's a couple of permanents where it's just like you see that happen, and depending on board state and life totals, like you're not coming back from that, and so you just like move on and it's fine. So yeah, that's exactly what happens there. And then I was like, this card rips and I want to experience that like again and with a degree of regularity. So I need to put him in the command zone, I guess. So here I am finding myself building a mono white Knights deck. And on MTGO, the Commander Workshop thing, I guess, actually comes with a lot of mono white Knight creatures. Like, you can fill out a significant portion of your creature base with good Knight typal cards that are all just like stacking lords and keywords like double strike.
Yeah. Indestructible.
Absolutely.
So you've got just like...
Yeah, you would know all about that, Donnie, huh?
Yeah, you would. You got some incredible fucking cards here. Sky Knight Squire from Foundations is a guy that I opened in draft, but he's a knight, and he puts a +1/+1 counter on himself whenever another creature enters the battlefield. And, well, he's not like a knight, but he turns into a knight once you put enough counters on him. He gets himself flying, and it's all like extremely cool and good for this particular guy. I like to see him. Because he's just like, he's my guy. I like him from Limited. He's my Blorbo.
Fair enough.
Your Scrimblow, yeah.
Yeah. We've got Adeline, who's a knight. Danitha's a knight. There's like all sorts of people who you're just like, oh, you're also a knight? Sick.
Yeah.
Nadar, Selfless Paladin. Guess what? Dragon Knight.
Dragon Knight, yeah.
Yep.
The fucking Hero of Bladehold.
Makes soldiers, but is a knight.
Yep.
Or makes humans.
Not every like person who wields a sword is a knight. There's like explanation for that because it's expensive to be a knight or whatever. So like a certain anyway,
you need to finance your fucking house to become a knight or something.
There's a paywall.
Like it's expensive to maintain the armor and the horses and the all of that bullshit. So only a certain like wealthy level like gets to do the knighting. So there's soldiers who are more boots on the ground guys who ain't got all that money.
But then they get +1 counters from Bahamut when Dion flips over, so who cares?
Yeah, I extremely don't care what the creature typing on the token is if the non-token body that's creating it is serviceable, and Hero of Bladehold absolutely is. So we're just slamming everything that's just like good go-wide aggro cards. I've got all of the card draw cards that you would expect to see in here. The fucking icon of not that one, the other one.
Idle.
Vanquisher's Banner? No, I don't have that one, Lamau. All right, well, Vanquisher's Banner's in the library, so I guess I should probably add one. But just like cards that like trigger whenever creatures enter the battlefield and draw you a card, like all of that mono white bullshit, we've got it. The Caretaker's Talent that draws you a card when tokens enter.
Some of the knights are so. I mean, the knight tokens themselves, but Takesi is welcome.
Yep, we got that. Just fucking mono white classics. I'm on Pearl Medallion and the Wind Crystal because cost reduction is extremely strong.
Wow, I'm so shocked. I can't believe that.
And knights have a special relationship with equipment pretty frequently, so we're on a package of Sword of Fire and Ice, Truth and Justice, Hearth and Home, and Stormbeacon Blade as equipments that we can find to...
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be attacking enough with 3 bodies anyway.
Yeah, we're playing a go wide aggro deck. It's what white wants to do, so I want to make sure that we're rewarding that with cards that'll draw cards when we're doing the go wide aggro thing. Glimmer Lens is another card that does that. It's got the 4 Mirrodin, so it comes in with a body of its own, but we don't give a damn. Once we flip over Dion, everybody's in the army now.
Hell yeah.
Can you pick up a sword? Yes, you're in. Let's fucking go.
We do not care. You are all in.
Dion the hype man. Can you pick up a sword? Absolutely. Then you're in the army. You're flying with me, bucko.
Hell yeah. I have a roaming throne in here. I'm not sure exactly what triggered abilities of knights I have that I'm copying.
Besides Dion, or like... I put a pile... Hold on. I got some knights here. You could put a claimed contender out and start seeing if you can get some knights or equipment off the top 5.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep.
So there's options.
The pool is deep. The pool's deep for sure.
Yeah, I could cut that and play something else, but it is also a knight, air quotes, so you're not losing a whole lot if you put the roaming throne in a deck.
Yep.
And it's the MTGO metagame, so...
You're fighting for your fucking life.
Yep.
Every time Quinn comes back from the MTGO mines or is like, hey, I'll join this game in a second. I'm currently fucking dying. Like, I'll be there in a sec. And I'm like, jeez, like, it's brutal. It's brutal out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're having fun, but it is just like they're built different out there.
It's the Wild West out there, absolutely.
Yeah. I wouldn't say they're built different. I think they're just like their brains are wired.
Yeah, they're building different.
Yes, there we go. Hey, there we go. Yeah.
So anyway, Dion, very cool card. Love him. The times that I've played it, I felt extremely resilient. Those knights that gives things like indestructible or prevents damage or any sort of like first strike and you can't really attack this or attack into this profitably. All of that feels really good and impactful. And people are like throwing just every fucking piece of interaction that they've got at me. And I'm just like, all right, cool, sounds good. We're going to recast Dion. We're going to make another night. I'm
just immediately thinking Brave the Sands or something like, oh, cool, protection from this color. Who cares? I'm playing mono white.
If I was maybe more of a mono white mage, I would know about the protection techniques, but I don't.
I know. I also know you don't like playing at instant speed, so maybe that one's
that shit, dude.
Quinn, if you're fighting for your fucking life with a mono white deck, you sure as shit gotta play all your fucking outs. Don't give me this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the Flare of Fortitude in
I'm
here
gonna play.
for that.
Hold on. I'm gonna fucking play summon Choco Mog in my fucking monocolor whites deck, but I'm not gonna put in Brave the Sands or something. Like, oh, okay.
Okay, first off, Choco Mog is an anthem for my go wide aggro game plan, so show some caps lock fucking respect. Secondly, I picked this guy up in limited and he's adorable, and I have an emotional attachment, so I'm allowed to play my Scrimblows.
There you
All
go.
right. You're reaching critical Scrimblow threshold here. I'm gonna need you to cool your jets.
I think as long as I'm taking home W's, I can have as many fucking Scrimblows as I want.
There you go.
Jeez.
I think Andy says God only smiles on results, my guy.
There you go.
Fuck. Get my ass. Alright, well, just remember, if you don't have Flare of Fortitude on deck, I'm fucking getting your ass.
Well, I also have an Unbreakable Formation.
That's 3 mana hard cast. Fuck off. You don't got that mana. You're casting knights.
I might. All right. I'll get a clever concealment. Fine.
No, that's worse. Fuck. Fine. Get a clever concealment. What is this fucking bullshit? Why do I put up with y'all? My God, I'm fucking fighting for my life over here.
Great question. I don't know. So anyway, you push that 6 mana button on Dion. It pretty much says you win the game if you're doing your job as a mono white aggro mage.
Or you hit 6 mana on the white crystal, and you also the wind crystal, excuse me, and you just do the same thing. Yeah, you activate
that ability, and it's basically the same thing as saying you win the game. Your creature's getting flying and lifelink, and the white crystal doubling your life gain. It's just like, I've time walked the ever-loving shit out of each of you, and you couldn't get through my blockers in the first place, so now I'm at like 60 life. What's good?
Yep. Damn, this deck is really stacked, though.
It sure is.
Good stuff. I'm gonna be right in the trenches soon enough, so I'll be right there.
Hell yeah. Get that on my desk in however long it takes to get that on my desk.
Yeah, well, considering you won't be finishing Final Fantasy VII, I think I'll take my sweetest time with it. So
listen, you already know I don't finish video games. You have to set realistic goals.
Listen, you said, okay, you watched 3 Sonic movies. And then you finished Arcane, so I have a
This was not an assignment, though. This was a thing that you had suggested I watch eventually, and so several years down the line, we got around to it. Potentially that'll happen.
Several years down the line. That fucking second season of Arcane fucking came out, and fucking Shadow the Hedgehog the movie fucking came out, like, last year. Come on. Or was it this year? I can't fucking remember. This year's already been way too goddamn long. All right. Dion posting. What a fucking card, I tell you. I am thinking of taking 2 decks apart for making my own, but that's a story for another day. All right, it's time for my Sephiroth posting.
Yeah, what you got for me?
Well, you are taking the absolute villainous route, and I am taking I'm attempting to salvage my PR cred, and it's fucking falling through my fingers as we speak. I'm playing Sephiroth Fallen here.
You were photographed in front of Nibelheim in flames. Explain yourself. You're the hero?
This man is not beating the allegations. So we got a 3 mana red-white human avatar soldier. That's a 7/5. This guy's from the Final Fantasy VII Precon. Flavor ability, Genova cells. Whenever Sephiroth attacks, he may put his cell counter on target creature until end of turn. Each modified creature you control has base power and toughness 5/7. So, as a reminder... Yes, 7/5,
base power toughness 7/5. It turns them into Sephiroths.
It turns into Sephiroths. Equipment auras you control and counters are modifications. Any counter. We'll come back to that in a second here. The flavor ability, Uranian. Pay 3, sacrifice a modified creature. Return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. That's pretty great. I had attempted... And honestly, I need to cut this fucking Esperama because this dude just does not fucking work with this deck. I am trying to fight for my fucking life here.
That's why he's in the swag section on my fucking summons ranking chart. Because if you're not Wizard's typo, this card does stone nothing.
Yeah, this card is just not for fucking... It's just... I need to put like an equipment or a creature in here or something. Okay, so I have played this new Sephiroth deck 4 times. I have lost all 4 games with no hope in fucking hell. And every time, it's some combination of just, I'm trying to blend all these things together. And the reason being I'm saying I'm trying to blend stuff together, I have equipment stuff. I have Pure Steel Paladin, I have SRAM, I have Raban, I have Gyat, King of the Dwarves.
Gyat, damn it.
I got Furion, Wild Rose Warrior, and all this other stuff, right? And then I have Clive, and I have Joshua and Dion, because when they flip over, they become summons, and then because Quinn's got me on summons, I have a certain number of saga creatures on here, including fucking Yojimbo, because this dude's the fucking G. And I'm trying to fight and trying to see if I can somehow get these summons out at an appropriate time so that they still have saga counters on chapter 1, 2, or 3, depending on if they have 4 chapters or not. And then when they attack with Sephiroth, they not only become super busted fuck off powerful, but they also are still saga creatures. And and I don't know, maybe I'm too deep in the sauce trying to make it work, but I feel like I have all the necessary components right now. I have card draw, I have equipment stuff, I have creatures to hold the equipment on top of all of the summon creatures that, like, they add mana to your mana pool, or they get rid of stuff for you, or all this other and it's just like, I don't know, it hasn't clicked just yet. Last night wasn't too bad when we were playing on stream, but I think
we just have to treat this like a go wide aggro deck instead of leaving like any consideration towards like, oh, this is a Saga's deck. Like, you gotta just like, this is a go wide aggro deck.
No, I did, and it is a go wide aggro deck. I just haven't been able to really hit the here's all my modified creatures and Sephiroth to go wide. Like, I'd never been able to hit that like threshold point yet. But
gotcha.
I don't know. I feel like the foundation's all here. Yeah, I could probably add more lands, but we always do hover on that 36 land count. And rather than going for like traditional removal, I have a lot more like protection pieces. So I don't have whatever the fucking white spell I just recommended you for Dion, Brave the Elements.
Brave the Sands.
Yeah, sure, whatever. No, Brave the Sands is the enchantment that allows your creatures to.
Talking about to me.
No, sorry, I meant the one that gives your creatures protection from a color until end of turn, but that's a whole other thing. That was the one I was trying to go to.
That.
Yeah, all right.
Fucking Karametra's Blessing.
Sure, whatever. I don't know. Play Restoration Magic. I don't care. Just figure it out. But I don't know. Right now, I know this is the deck that's burning my ass more than anything else because I feel like I have all the foundational stuff there and I've made all the tweaks. I was on the first version of the list. I looked at it and then I'm like, where the fuck is my copy of Jor Kadeen First Gold Warden? And where's my copy of Mary Esquire of Rohan? Because these are 2 mana Scrimblow dudes that love equipment and love getting in there. And just for whatever reason, I haven't been able to do it. So I'm going to head back into the battle, into the Gladiator Dome and fucking figure out what the hell is going on with this deck. Because this, I could be like, damn, Squall's doing great, like, all right. Like, I think what I got that deck doing right now is all fine and dandy. But for all the juice, like, for all the sauce that I got in this fucking deck, it's just not clicking the way I want it to. So, I don't know, mulligan better? I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Entirely possible.
Yep.
There's also the whole just, like, apply more card draw. You know how it is.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, again, like, going back to, like, all these additions and stuff, like, I feel like a lot of the individual pieces have a form of card draw, but I think it's just trying to bring it all together to be more consistent or synergistic, and I feel like we're getting there, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I believe in you.
I'm going to take this brief moment to mention before we continue on with your stuff, and then we're going to get to the soapboxes for Jen and Donnie here. I did trade in a bunch of cards for that foil Lightning Army of One, which was at the current moment, and I'm going to double check in a second here.
You gotten to tag anybody with that yet?
I haven't played Odric since I got it, so I haven't been able to. But that was a $90 Canadian card in foil. I wish it was a different version of her, but you know what? We got a lightning card for Audric Bloodcursed, and we're gonna fucking use her, and she's gonna fucking crush face. How much was this version? Oh, it dropped down to $50. Okay, cool. So fuck me, I guess.
I can't look at that, dude. It's only
no. I don't care. I traded in a bunch of cards that I wasn't gonna be used, and I knew it had dollar signs on it. So like, did I really care? Like, I won out. I don't know. I got the card I wanted. I don't care. We're not MTG finance people. We're vibes based. We don't care. It is what it is.
There you go.
Okay. All right. How are we doing for time? For you two?
Oh, we're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Cool. Quinn, do we got one more you think before we head back to Doni and Jen here?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
So
sin for us.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So once again, I open this card in limited Sin Spirit's Punishment, a 4 and black, green, blue legendary creature Leviathan avatar. It's a 7/7 with flying, and whenever it enters or attacks, exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random, then create a tapped token that's a copy of that card. If the exiled card is a land, repeat this process. I had a bunch of green-black cards that I drafted and blue-black cards that didn't have a home, just all sorts of stuff that I wanted to play together. And so we just threw it all in the same pile and put Sin in the command zone and played a bunch of extra land drops because Sin wants to be on the battlefield, and I'm big into extra land drops as ramp lately instead of the cultivates and Kodama's reaches and whatever, because like if I bring this deck into paper at any point, then I get to play a fucked up ramp deck and don't have to spend any time shuffling, which is crucial. So yeah, we're playing a bunch of extra land drops, and the plan is to just to slowly lower a shipping container labeled value on top of our opponents. And I don't have an actual game plan. It's just like these are all cards that generate value, and they're all in the same deck. And so we're just ramping and drawing cards and putting larges into play that also ramp and draw cards. And I have the Blackblade Reforged and a flying large in the command zone. Yeah, that's the game plan. I'm going to find the Blackblade, and as soon as I'm bored of Simic bullshitting on my opponents, then I'll give that to Sin and cut their heads off.
Why would you fucking do this? Why would you subject people to that?
Because they'll do it to me, and also because I opened a foil copy of Sin and wanted to put it in the command zone.
Fair enough. All right.
Yep.
Makes sense.
It's as good a reason as any.
You had to do it to him.
So
Wait,
I can play this with I can play it with Summon Leviathan or Whelming Leviathan.
Right.
Just I have one-sided board wipes that are pretty impactful.
Damn. That's
it's slop and it's delicious. I don't know what to tell you.
Quinn, I gotta send you Wooly versus slop stream that he does with his buddy, where everyone just says them YouTube slop and they just watch bits out of sometimes heavily out of context bits and pieces. I think that stuff would be your shit. I totally believe it. I am shocked to see how high the I am not shocked, and I am shocked to see how high the creature count is on this fucking list. This is insane.
Literally just dragged and dropped relevant creatures into the deck. I started with a word filter for everything in my collection on MTGO that let me play additional lands. I put all of those in the deck, and then I filtered for Final Fantasy in these colors, and then I put those in the deck, and then after that we filled it in with the rest of whatever's going on here. So a lot of the big impactful things that I wanted to play were creatures, and we've got the cycle of land cyclers from both the Final Fantasy and from Lost
Lord of the Rings.
Ixalan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I don't have Lord of the Rings land cyclers in my collection on MTGO, just the Lost Caverns ones, and they're close enough for government work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm putting these larges in my graveyard so that I can put lands into my hand so that I can hit my extra land drops because I need to be able to cast my large value generator.
Mm-hmm.
And the things that I put into my graveyard can potentially be reanimated with the attack and ETB trigger. So it's all just feeding into doing what it wants to do anyway. And of course we've got all of the Gitrogs that I can play legally because I want to put additional lands into play. And if there's a large enough, I can sacrifice it to Gitrog Ravenous Ride and just draw a bunch of cards, put a bunch of lands into play. Be really annoying with that kind of thing. We've got the fucking Genova, we talked about. She's in here, so that I can either turn Sin into a mutant and have an insurance policy on that, or turn something that I'm going to feed to Gitrog into a mutant and draw just entirely too many cards. I've got a Naga Fleshcrafter. That guy's a 4-mana clone, but it's also got this renew ability that lets you exile it from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on a non-legendary creature you control, and have every creature that you control become a copy of that creature until end of turn. So it's doing the like mirror weave or the nanogene conversion type thing. I could turn everything into I don't know, whatever the fuck creature that I have.
Not Mystic Reflection. I'm thinking of
kind of.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of that 2-mana spell from Kaldheim that like if something would enter, it would become a copy of something else.
No, that is Mystic Reflection. You're right.
Okay, yeah.
That feels right.
Always a card that I always think about. The only thing I can suddenly
into Adamantoise.
Oh god, what a freaking card! You have never seen an 8-mana 8/20.
Yeah, 8-mana checks notes 8/20 with Vigilance and Ward 3, and it's
big butts.
Yeah.
So in Final Fantasy 15, I think either before they patched it out or people were like, they would spend hours fighting this thing, like literal hours.
In that lore video that I watched earlier, the guy mentioned that this was a boss that was designed to be fought over multiple encounters and like sessions of play. So you like do some damage on it and then you fucking peace out, and apparently it doesn't heal in between battles like other things would.
That's pretty. You know what? Never knew that. The only when I played it, I never fought the damn thing, and the only thing I knew was that later, up until they like buffed, so you get Ring of the Lucii in the game, which the card itself is a Sisay's ring with I don't know, tap a permanent or whatever. Not that big a deal. The real shit is that you can cast Death on the Adamantoise. And if you complete the animation, he just fucking dies, like just straight up.
Oh, wow.
But the problem is you have to literally go through most, if not near the full game, and then be like, I guess I can go back and fight Adamantoise and just fucking nuke the damn thing out of existence. And the thing is, too, is when you cast Death using Ring of the Lucii, the model, like, shrinks into, like, a husk. It keeps the same motion capsule like skeleton thing, but it looks like by the time something's like a little wispy piece of paper, like shambling towards you, the animation finally stops and the thing fucking poofs out of existence. You're like, fuck this giant fucking tortoise, this giant fucking turtle, eat shit and die. I'm not doing this. I love video games, man. It's so fucking funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I should play 15.
Quinn, we need to get 16 in your fucking Steam library before we fucking do anything else.
Alright, well, if some listener wants to send me a Steam code for 16, then we can make that happen. But until then, we're chilling. Playing PS1 games.
I've been waiting for the fucking sale, and just like every time I'm like, this is not enough. This is... Where is it? Where is it, Sony? I fucking see you. I know what you're fucking doing.
Rattling the bars of your enclosure, please. Discount my enrichment.
I want to play Peak. Let me play Peak. Alright. Anything else to note about this Sin deck that will tilt me into the fucking sun?
Nope, just that it is a fucking sin, and it's maybe coming to tables near you if I decide to let it escape the MTGO containment.
I don't know about... I don't like that, but alright, fair enough. Christ. Alright, alright, well... I think it's time. We haven't had one in the last couple episodes, so I think it's time...
Hit that elevator music.
So we have, Quinn and I have been yapping this entire fucking episode, and I feel like you two have been left on the back burner here. So Jen and Donnie, you both have some, so not just a soapbox, but you have soapboxes for us. So hit us with it. What do you got?
Sure. Flyers win games. That's just always my thing. I will always say it. I will die on that hill. That is my favorite part.
Don't have to sell it to us. We know this.
Nobody plays enough Flyers. I don't know. I have won more games simply for having Flyers than having a deck that does anything other than have creatures with flying.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you ranked keywords, like if you ranked all of the abilities,
we need more flying.
Flying is one of the best ones because
easily.
It's widely available. It's in it's heavy in almost all 5 colors.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, green's been catching up too. Yeah,
green's getting there. Green got a lot of bird support in Final Fantasy, so
chocobos.
We got a lot of birds, but all of the birds are flightless in Final Fantasy. That's sort of a quirk of chocobos, is that they're flightless.
Yep.
Except when they're not.
Because the birds in Final Fantasy were built to hold hands with the birds from Bloomborough, who are specifically focused on giving non-creature or non-flying creatures buffs, including flying. So there's some of those guys that when you attack, you can just like drag your chocobos along for the ride and put everybody into the sky.
Yep, bird support is
fair.
Looking very, very good. Yep, absolutely.
Bird Force 1 or something. I don't know.
They basically printed a birds precon.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's Tempest Hawk from the last set, so there's your like filler cards until they print more better birds, unless those are like the kind of thing that you're into. Mm-hmm. And then otherwise there's the like Chocobo package, and then your precon commander Choco.
Play Kangi, Bird Up, who cares?
Yeah. Yep.
Bird Up. Boop, boop, boop.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a real deck. And I know because I've played it. But in terms of deck building, what's your like, I guess, is plugging flyers into decks in the deck construction stage a conscious decision that you're making? Or is it that you're like reaching for good cards and they just have flying because that's the kind of thing that you consider to be on a good card?
Oh no, I purposely look for the flying to go in the deck. Absolutely, it's yes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else on top of flying?
Yeah.
So you're just like in the deck construction stage, like, okay, I need to make sure that there's at least X amount of flyers in this deck before we move any further.
Oh yeah, no, people didn't have them, and that was my win con.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know we have been saying it in Smoking Mids, and we've been saying it in episodes of the last few weeks.
I've been saying it because Jen says it. That's literally where I get it from.
Oh, okay. So we're going full circle here is what I'm hearing.
Yes, dude.
All right,
this is
perfect.
the source of Flyers Win Games.
Damn. All right. For the mouth of God, Flyers Win Games. And so she has spoken.
That's the whole thing.
She's got the stats to back it up, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Absolutely.
I think it really does go without saying, as the vibes-based yapping for literally 3 hours at a time podcast, that we do kind of sort of know our shit. But Quinn and I could not be on our creature bullshit unless there were reasons why we're on it. Going to combat and turning creatures sideways is a fundamental part of the game, and one of the ways that you can win those games is by turning those flying creatures sideways. So, not much more to be said, really. I think that pretty simple to the point.
Yeah.
And every time people are like, what about my combo? Did I fucking stutter? To fucking turn that shit sideways? If you are not comboing out this turn and there is an open fucking attack, fucking take the shot.
Oh yeah, dude, get in there.
Yeah. Good thing I play Maul the Skyclaves in a lot of my decks. I do love giving creatures flying with that thing.
I like that one a lot. That's in the Dion deck because if I don't have flying, I'm giving a thing flying, and also nice and that special relationship with equipment that we talked about.
Yep.
Exactly. It all works out.
Hell yeah.
That's a pretty good one. I'm pretty down for that. Donnie, let's go to you because you got one here.
All right. And I've never been a fan of the paywall. I've never been a fan of the reserved list or, any of that other stuff. It's a game. I think proxies are more important now, especially for new players with, the dramatic influx of new product and the pricing and, all of these things. I think if you need to proxy a guy's cradle, proxy a guy's cradle. You need to proxy a tabernacle, proxy a tabernacle. I don't care.
Okay, I don't know about this, Donnie. I think you've already lost me, man.
Tabernacles, but
here's the thing, okay? If you've never had the opportunity to play with the Moxen, if you've never gone to channel fireball your opponent to death, I feel like have that opportunity.
I feel like I'm not missing out on much, to be honest, but that's just me.
For those of you who don't fucking know, Donnie's been playing the game for long enough to have had the original printing of Mana Crypt that he got from the book promo and flips the coin with the actual coin that he got with the Mana Crypt. So
if
your man is an OG here, and that guy is the Mana Crypt is RIP. In jail now, but for the long
fucking rip in pieces, you piece of shit.
The man is very clearly impacted very heavily by the loss of Mana Crypt.
To the heart, to the heart.
A little more sensitive, my guy.
No, it's Donnie. Fuck this. Absolutely not. Listen, Donnie's Magic career is not only old enough to vote, but also old enough to legally drink in the United States. This man has been here. He's seen the old ancient texts.
He has.
This man is fucking Gandalf, basically.
And Jen's been playing the game for a similar length of time.
Yeah,
so,
just about as long, yeah.
These gamers out here, they've got all of these cards from having played that at that.
Yeah.
They have them, and they're still proxies are good for the game, which is just all right, that lets you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's about having accessibility to those game pieces.
Yeah, there's been a handful of times that I've personally proxied, and more often than not, because I made that Queen Marchesa Dan deck, which it's an elusive thing. I haven't played it a whole lot since the last time it happened on my birthday. Oh shit, it's nearly been a year. Fuck. But before I even could think about, I am putting some amount of money into a 259 card deck, not factoring in tokens or anything like that. And to even think about pulling the trigger on it, I had to go through the testing phase. And it's a thing that still needs to go through the testing phase, but in terms of actual deployment, it's worked out. And thankfully, the amount of money that I had to put into it and some hypothetical other projects that I got that are not commander decks, right, has been great a lot of I don't know if Benwa or Light or Fredo will probably be able to bring this up too, because now he's in game dev for card games and stuff. But a lot of demos start off with just pen and paper, whatever, right? If we need to get this game going from the from the bottom up, we need to work with literally a box of scraps in a cave or whatever before you become Iron Man, kind of thing,
You gotta work with one of these motherfuckers.
Get that
At
horrid
which
thing.
point
Get it away from me, Quinn. I'm looking at literally blue ballpoint pen on a fucking piece of paper. This is like heinous.
A handwritten proxy of Kefka, Ruler of Ruin, right here. You gotta just fucking playtest the card with the rules text on the paper.
I mean, that's how R&D does it. So if R&D...
Yeah. I think for if we're Commander players, who gives a shit, right? I have gone on record saying I'm very tactile, and like sometimes I feel like, what did someone? I think Sam from the Howling Salt Mine podcast talked about how he proxied a CEDH deck, and talk about a format that requires you to go all out and have that all proxied, because I imagine most people that are running $2+ grand in cost CEDH decks for whatever reason that they're running it for, they don't fucking have that in paper.
Brother, I am not buying a Lion's Eye Diamond.
No, fuck no, absolutely not. And you know, I'm not buying fucking fetch lands, and I'm not buying OG duels, so you know, I'm not gonna do it. And that's where stuff like Moxfield and the virtual playtesters also come in handy, because it's still, the accessibility part really does matter. Being able to even think about, like, maybe I will buy this deck once upon a time in the near future. Well, you know, testing it out and figuring out where the fine line is going to be, you know. And the price point shouldn't be an issue. But I'm also looking at you sussly if your deck is over $2 grand in price and you're playing every banger card you can think of and being like, yes, this is my signature commander deck. And I'm like, there is no sauce in this deck. I am not calling out anyone in particular for that one. I'm just saying that, like,
yeah, you're making up a guy to get mad at.
I'm making up several people to get mad at, as usual. But I feel as if there's a fine line for proxies, and my line in the sand is I want people to make a creative deck that doesn't care about the actual price point, that allows people to really still be able to express themselves and be able to play this game. I just also am like, I'm the guy who has a play group out here that has proxied many decks. Like, they got fetch lands, they got dual lands, they got OG duels, like shock lands, that you name it, right? And they'll show up at the meetup on Sundays or whatever. And like, before like Golos was banned, for example, my buddy had a
hate that guy.
Just a buddy of mine, Patrick, he made a 5-color Golos deck that was just literally just about Valakut. Like, just make every land a mountain, cast Valakut, cast Scape Shift, go nuts, right?
Yeah.
He had no basics in the list, and he had every fetch land and every dual land and every shock land that you can think of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I fucking know how much this deck would cost in actual factual tender. Like, the shit is just... And then, of course, Golos got banned. But at the same time, my man could be roasted, flambéed even, with just a fucking price of progress. Like, the man would literally... It's a fucking tinder box. The dude just fucking explodes and dies, right? But we never actually brought Price of Progress, and that was before Sunspine Links and all that other stuff. So, like, and who's casting Anathemancer, you know? Like, no one's just fucking...
Oh, so they went completely unpunished?
Yeah, like, we tried our best. You know, we tried keeping him in check, but the problem with Golos decks is that you play Golos, and then you ramp, and then Golos gets blown up, and then you recast Golos, and you ramp, and then you're like, God damn it, I blow up Golos again. They're like, damn, look, I have all this land here.
Yep.
I guess
yes,
Golos
that is why he is banned.
Yep.
And so I am on the side of the fence of, like, proxies are good for the game in terms of accessibility, but I really wish people would exercise restraint on what the end result of those proxies are. Yeah, that. Otherwise, I agree.
Yeah,
you know,
at the end
there's
of the
always
day,
going to be people that are going to abuse it, or
oh yeah,
you know,
as our friend Donnie is always fond of saying, intent matters.
Exactly. It's all about the intent. You know,
intent matters, and Flyers win games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's the gospel truth, there, everyone. There we go. Yeah. All right. And then Jen, you have the. I'm recoiling in horror at this.
Why?
Hit us with the soapbox. Hit us with the final soapbox.
The older cards. We have so many new cards, right? But nobody talks about not just previous sets or sets from last year, but nobody talks about the older cards and what cards there are still good.
I mean, we're at over 30,000 unique.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's some really good old stuff.
And there's probably a good 40.
Yeah, because we know most of that was made within the last 5 years.
That nobody touches, you know? So, one of the best feelings in a game is when you play something and everybody... What the fuck? Where did this come from?
What's that card?
And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, this set's like 15 years old.
Click on it on spell table and be like, adjust my glasses. Hang on, let me read this fucking Visions Uncommon.
Yeah, exactly. Let me hold on. Let me check the errata on Scryfall because this card has gone through some changes since we last saw it, right?
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what does this Ice Age bulk rare do? Read it for me.
Yeah, exactly. Every time I've ever played Minion of Leshrac,
it does what?
I have no fucking idea what it does.
Minion of Whomst?
You see, Donnie and Jen, I feel as if, you both need to play, I'm going to be such a dickhole about this. You got to play with some other senior Magic players to fucking know what these cards are. No, because here's the thing, right? So, ever since we've been doing the podcast, anytime I chat with Joel, and he's a teacher, he's a dad of two. This man's been playing Magic since he was a kid, that kind of thing. Like again, he's seen the ancient scriptures, and he's there. I was there, Elrond. I was there, Gandalf. Yeah, we know. We fucking get it, right? And he will often go to bat for every old border, white border, traditionally made artwork of all like these old cards, right? Because that's his bread and butter. He was there, right? Meanwhile, I'm like hissing and spitting, being like, but it's old, Joel. It's fucking old. It's some of these cards in 1993 are older than I am, Joel.
Yep.
But they do
like
some
that
stuff.
sometimes. Yeah.
No,
I'm
there is some
still
stuff.
Sleeping up those OG Kamigawa Spirit Dragons. They still rock. I'm Pain's Reward.
Quinn, those are not old. Come on.
What are you talking about?
They're spring chickens in comparison to like 7th edition or whatever. I don't know.
4th edition. Like 4th edition was good.
The first box I ever bought was
Okay, hold on. I gotta hit you all with this one. Let me give you. I think I've talked about this before. Like many things I talk about because I love yapping. So, we figured out the date of a photo that I had taken with me as a kid. My mom took this photo, and me and my brother are like little, and we figured out I was about 7 years old. But the reason we found out wasn't because of the date. Like, there was no date, like, when you take those old, like, Polaroid photos. Like, they don't sometimes put the date on or whatever. But there was a Magic the Gathering card peeking out on the table. And, I'm like, hold on a second.
Computer enhance.
Can we carbon date this fucking photo? Like, can we figure this out, right? So I sent it to Joel, my buddies. And very quickly, we went through one card and we did the Scryfall search. We're like, no, that's not it. And then the next guess was, yes, it's this XYZ card. And I immediately messaged my mom. I'm like, Mom, it has to be after this date. So it means it has to be probably this year in the summer. And she's like, no. I'm like, Mom, I know a bunch of freaks, all right? They are stone cold. They are stone
Mom, we've
cold.
done some detective work.
Mom, these aren't like, if you need someone to find out if there's a Magic the Gathering card in some old ass photo, they will tell you what fucking year it is, right? And we figured out it had to be at least 2000. I think it was like after 2002 or 2003. And my mom's like, there's no way. I'm like, Mom, I don't think I can emphasize this to you. these people know their shit. Like, they know their shit way better than I know this shit. Like, they figured it out. This was a Sherlock Holmes moment. Case closed. Fucking pilot, we're gone. It's over, right? But yeah, like, there is a lot of legacy in Magic. And because of where we're at right now, like, Final Fantasy, Smoking Mids will talk about Final Fantasy for the next 2 weeks. Like, we are, like, that's kind of, like, we're in that content creation space. Everyone's getting in that new hype. Everything's coming out every 2 or 3 months. It is very hard to appreciate the classics, especially when you're allergic to Old Border Blood Frenzy from Tempest. But you know what? The professor, I think it was the professor, put out a video and said, hey, all these cool cards are, like, really cool. And I'm like, I guess if the professor said it, I guess I can get it. But also, Blood Frenzy is totally my shit, because that's 1 in a red for an instance. This is target, so can only be done before the combat damage step. And target attacking or blocking creature gets +4/+0 until end of turn. Destroy that creature at the beginning of the next end step. That is totally my shit. Teamer Battle Rage? I don't know her.
Cole's out here doing much more devious plans, berserking other people's creatures and then using that as
It's literally
removal.
budget berserk, and that was the whole thing, right? Like, for all the times that we think about, like, hatred or berserk or any of this other stuff that we can conceivably think of now, there's a strictly, quote-unquote, strictly worse version that probably existed for the last 20 years that we just don't even know about.
Yep.
True. It's true.
Yep, absolutely.
But if it's Modern Border, I'm all for it. If it's not Modern Border, it's sayonara. I'm fucking Weevil in fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1, tossing Exodia into the water.
I'm pelting you with tomatoes.
No.
What are some of, like, your old... You mentioned... What was the card you mentioned, Donnie, of, like, what the fuck does this card do? Was that, like, your favorite
Minion
old...
of Leshrac.
Minion of
Leshrac.
Leshrac. That's one of
Minion
them.
of
That's
Leshrac.
absolutely one of my favorite Ice Age rares.
Oh, Herald of Leshrac. Oh, that's Modern Border. That's not old.
No.
No, bro, he said minion.
Minion of Leshrac.
Minion of Leshrac. 4 triple black protection from black at the beginning of your upkeep. This creature deals 5 damage to you unless you sacrifice a creature other than this creature. If this creature deals damage to you this way, tap it. Tap, destroy target creature or land. What the fuck?
Well, for starters, it's a sack outlet, so jot that down. And secondly, tap to destroy target creature is extremely fucking annoying.
And back then we had like Breeding Pit and Blood Pet, and like we had all the tools we needed to make Minion work. And
you got the Tombstone Stairwell, I think, is the same time period or close enough for government work.
Yep. Tombstone Stairwell's another very, very
and tutors were old.
Underrated. Yeah, tutors were old.
The worldly tutor, all of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The vampiric tutor in them for sure.
All of that.
Demonic tutor is boldest. I mean, you can't.
And don't forget flanking, right? And flanking and
phasing. My lord, I need to leave.
Phasing, Rampage, and Trample.
Hey, Rampage was really good, actually.
Rampage does actually rip.
Arizona Angels with Gabriel Angelfire with fucking... Wait, is that Rampage or is it something else? I think it's Rampage.
That sounds right, yeah.
Rampage
yeah, Times have changed. Things got a little more...
Changed a little bit, but they stayed the same, kind of. They looked at Rampage and was like, General Marholt Elf Dragon? We'll put that.
We'll
put Rampage on that. It's close enough.
I have a quote-unquote old Magic head playing that as commander at our meetups, and... But he's also the type of guy that, like, will look at a more modern card, and he's like, what the fuck is this? Like, bro, like... You're showing up to meetups with fucking 50-cent... Zada Hedron Grinder, like you
you don't get to what the fuck is this if you're playing Zada.
Nope.
But especially when new cards come out, he's always just like, what the fuck is happening? We're like, I don't know, dude, have you not seen Cloud's Limit Break? That shit fucking rips.
Wild Frenzy from fucking Dragons of or Tarkir Dragonstorm, brand new Zada card for Sherzies.
Hell yeah, fucking love that. Yeah, we are. Yeah, we do have to respect what came before.
Yeah, I mean, anytime we came.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Jen. Fuck you, Donnie. Jen, you get a pass this time, as you usually do.
No, anytime you can drop a Craw Giant and then put a lure on it and just watch your opponent's eyes roll into the back of their heads, it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, dude, I actually, unironically slammed a Shivan Dragon in a mono red deck the other day, and I was playing against this was in Brawl, I think. They were at Atraxa in the command zone, the first one.
Mm-hmm. The OG.
So not as bad as it could have been, but still the flying Death Touch, Lifelink, Vigilance in the command zone is extremely fucking annoying. But I happened to have enough removal to get their shit out of the way, and then I'm just I'm hellbent, but I have a Shivan Dragon, and I have the Inferno of the Star Mounts from the D&D set. And I'm just Shivan Dragon with haste. I'm emptying the clip on this activated ability because I realize what fire breathing is for now. And then my opponent's just fucking dead. Shivan Dragon still wins games, gamers.
Absolutely.
I love her.
It really does.
That's beautiful.
Because it flies.
Yep.
Yes, because it flies.
Who fucking cast Shivan Dragon recently that I saw?
Beats me.
I did during our when I played Dragons.
You know what? You're correct. That is exactly the thing you did in that fucking Gan X deck, and they're holy shit.
Yep.
That'll give you something to sink all that treasure into.
Foundations.
Flyers win games, everyone.
Foundations brought back a whole bunch of the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and she's uncommon in Foundations, too, so she's artist.
Finally. Oh, man. Freaking, Laura's fuck yeah, give me that fucking juice. I need that in my artisan decks. You can play that, I guess you could play that as a Pauper Commander now?
Yep.
Shivan Dragon?
Yeah, this is my Pauper Commander, Shivan Dragon.
You fucking laugh now, Quinn, but then you see someone fucking pop the fuck up. I don't know, fucking sky's the limit. We're all playing Commander at the end of the day. Who gives a shit?
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Shivan Dragon is, we talked about, past a certain point, you don't need card advantage. You just need to be big enough, and then you sink all your mana into that fire breathing and kill people.
Are you a big and bad enough dude to fucking kill someone with a Shivan Dragon? The answer is you probably can do it.
Absolutely.
I keep forgetting Inferno Titan has fire breathing. I never capitalized on that until I actually probably should, but...
You're out here fucking hellbent, nothing on board, you go to combat with your Inferno Titan, and you're just well, nothing else to do with this mana, pass the turn. Nah, dude, smash that button, kill people.
There you go.
I'm losing touch with this game, what do I tell you? Yeah. Old Border.
You gotta play some fucking limited, my guy.
Fuck.
That'll teach you to wring every drop of juice out of a card.
No, I probably should, but
play more Shadow, Cole. Play more Shadow.
No, you know what? Hold on. Donnie, you might have a point. I need to get that land in some more decks now. Gotta make people have Shadow.
Yeah, actually, the Minas Morgul Dark Fortress with the Shadow counter, it's really good.
Yep.
I'm just gonna put Shadow counters on everything every fucking turn, and nothing else fucking matters. Turning creatures sideways.
Yep.
Gonna make a Shadow counter. You're spending 8 mana every turn to activate the Dark Fortress to put a Shadow counter on a thing, and then to proliferate with Karn's Bastion to make more Shadow counters so that you can move those with a different card.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Fucking living the dream. Damn. Well, much wisdom has been dispensed this episode.
Indeed. I think we got there, gamers. I think we covered everything that we set out to cover.
We did. And of course, we ran our mouths long enough. That is now definitely an over 3 hour long episode. So good job, everyone. Pat on the back. We did it.
This fucking guy. All right, well.
I have seen the light literally disappear from the room that you two are in, so I think we have held you here long enough.
Yes, the sun is starting to go down.
Where can they find y'all on the internet?
It is.
You know what? Anywhere you can Google the Filthy MTG Casuals. We're on TikTok and we're on Facebook and
Instagram, Bluesky, YouTube. We're just out there.
We're also members of Team Magic Jank, so we've got the whole team covers basically everything there is about Magic. Like, we've got standard players, we've got modern players, we've got Commander, we've got grinders, you know, and everybody on the team's like really great. So yeah, check out any of that content, and if you're really in for a thrill, stop by the store on the website and maybe buy something with my face on it.
Get some Doni undies.
Yeah. Get some merch.
The Doni undies are the best. There's actually been like 2 pairs purchased, if not more. Like, go figure. People are
fucking
wearing
rolling it. We're fucking rolling in the dough. This is fucking awesome. I would love to have a Jen and Donnie shirt up here, but I know that shipping's gonna be fucking obscene.
Probably.
Yeah. I've got a pony up for it. How bad do you want it?
You know, we
I'm a
can
bad
still,
enough dude.
we can still ship flat rate. We can still ship flat rate to Canada.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Jen and Donnie, thank you for being here with this episode. It's greatly appreciated. It was super fun.
As always, lovely talking to you too. Thank you so much for doing this.
No, absolutely.
And thank you for doing the soapbox and espousing some wisdom of Flyers win games.
Always.
And intent matters.
Absolutely.
And play old cards.
Yes.
And play old cards. That one's not as important.
That's it. I'm making a deck with nothing but old
Quinn,
Editor, cut his mic. They can find us online at HBVC-MTG on the Bluesky. I'm at Grodic Energy. Cole's at the Bloodrick Guy. Find the podcast wherever podcasts are sold, wherever you're listening to it right now. You can find it there. And do we have another thing? Leave us comments. Yeah, there you go. Engage with the content.
Leave us comments. Word of mouth has gone a long way for us, and we hope it continues to be like that.
Hit that follow button.
Absolutely.
All right. See ya.
Later, gamers.